I've just put it on live. Just waiting for a few of you guys to come in. Right, evening all. Looks like some of you are starting to come in now. Evening, everyone. Right, evening all. Lee Ashby here for Motocross and Speedway Memories. Before I get into this amazing interview that I've got for you this evening, I will just do a few of my thank yous. So some of my thank yous. Big thanks to the support to Simon Pardo of White Eagle Finance. They give quality financial advice for pensions, mortgages, investments and protection. Check his website out at www.whiteeaglefinance.co.uk. Big thanks to Stefan Everts with his S72 gin and vodka brand. Check all his amazing products out at www.s72gin.com. Also, big thanks to Tom Brown of Moto Extreme Motorcycle Shop and his Moto Part 46 practice track, the sort of the M4 at the Bath Junction. You can check them out for all your off-road needs, including the new 2021 Kawasaki's at www.motoextreme.co.uk, and you can phone them on 01 225 89 227. And also, big thanks to James Burfield of Even Strokes Online Off-Road Shop. You can check these guys out. They've got loads of deals going on. www.evenstrokes.com, and they're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. So check those guys out. Right then, people, I can see there's already 80 of you online live already. That's brilliant. We've only just started it, so that's superb. Hi all. So you can see you all saying hi. Hi all. Right. So let me introduce this man. Here we go. What an absolute legend we got on for you this evening. So here we go. Here's the countdown. Right then, people. 4 times world individual champion, 11 times world team cup champion with Denmark, 7 times world pairs champion with Denmark, a 6 times Danish national champion, 3 times British League Riders champion, 9 times Nordic champion, 2 times Czech Golden Helmet winner, 3 times British League winner with the Oxford Cheetahs, and an absolute legend there. No less than 22 world titles, one of the best speedway riders of all time, the Main Dane as he was known, and also known as the Professor. What an absolute legend. I'm going to bring him in, Mr. Hans Nielsen. How's it going, Hans?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Really appreciate you coming on. Everyone's been excited about this.
A pleasure, I hope.
Including myself.
Yeah, great. Me too.
So yes, Hans, we're going to have live questions coming in from the fans, which will be amazing. Everyone's already saying, evening Lee and Hans, what a legend. With people come in with a lot of memories as well, so we'll share those with you that they'll come up with. All right, we'll get straight into it. Actually, David Rowley is put up there. He looks like he was a Wolves fan, comes up on his profile there. Hans, who do you think was a top talent but never got any recognition he deserved when you were riding? Interesting.
Ooh, that's a difficult one. And how far we go back? Was it at the beginning of my career, or was it during my career, and or late in my career?
Maybe we can do a couple of them.
Yeah, sure. Well, obviously you've seen lots of guys, along the road who's had huge talent but never really made it, to the top. And obviously you got to think of the Moran brothers. They're great natural riders, and obviously they were missing something to go all the way, but certainly natural talents. But when you look at guys that has been really good throughout their career, not having won a world final, obviously there's a few guys as well, but obviously, when you look at my own countrymen, obviously Tommy Knudsen was one of them. He was really really good throughout his career. He had a lot of injuries throughout his career, which obviously stopped him a fair way. Yeah. And I did stop him as well, but
yeah, you might have stopped him.
But but certainly, I think he was good enough to win a world title, and who else comes up? Obviously you had some of the Americans, like the Morans, as I say, but Cigales was a great rider, also being stopped by injury. So I'm sure if he had continued, he would have been in there with a good chance. Unfortunately, Sin and Plick, who we just lost, Bourgeau, but he was, I rode against him the first couple of years I was in in England and also
Yeah.
internationally. I obviously met him a few times and was also a great competitor and really talented. And from what I've also read from other guys, he had it all, but was still missing something, but certainly had the talent to go all the way. So and yeah, lots of other guys, but it's been a long career, and there's been quite a few of them along the way.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we've had a bit of a weird year, as it were, with obviously the COVID. Great to hear that you're now fully recovered. I gather from you had the COVID as well. And
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was pretty tough for the 2 weeks I was locked in a hotel room in Poland, but I got over it and no breathing problems, lung problems, so that was a good thing. But it was just like a tough flu, really. But yes, I'm okay now, back to fully fitness.
Brilliant. Obviously, like we said, we've had a tough year in general. Obviously, you're still managing Denmark, Team Denmark. What is the plans going forward? What was your sort of view of the year we've had, obviously, with Denmark, and then the plans for next year as well?
Well, as you say, it's been a very difficult year for everybody involved with Speedway. So it's even the Speed of Nations, which is obviously the crown of the jewel at the end of the year, that sort of got ruined a bit by not only by the corona. Well, it did for me, but also the weather, and obviously it was a shame it was just the one round, and even that got stopped after heat 14. But otherwise we were lucky, and thanks to Poland for the fact that we could see the guys in the extra league and later in the divisions around, especially in Sweden. Also nice to see the league in Sweden got on the way. Unfortunately, we couldn't go in Denmark because they couldn't make it financially viable if they couldn't have 1,000 people. So there's been lots of ups and downs, but at least we have seen some Speedway, and we've seen some guys doing well and some not so well. But from a Danish point of view, I think we were quite happy to get the bronze medal, and obviously one of the revelations has been our Anders Thompson having a wild card for 21, which is very exciting, and to have some new blood in the Grand Prix. Obviously, a bad season for Niels Christian Iversen, which was a shame with his injuries and stuff, and obviously not being able to qualify for next year. So he's going to have to fight a little hard again to get in there again. But knowing him, he's always good at the challenge. So hopefully we'll see him back in there in 22. So we'll see. But it's the same old things. We work hard, obviously, with the young kids as well, and hopefully we'll we saw obviously again a revelation with Marcus Bjergum also doing all his stuff, winning the individual on the 21 European, and obviously doing really well in being bronze winner in the Danish Championship. And but we have lots of young guys who's coming along and doing nicely, and with the new rules in Poland here, we see some of them doing contracts in Poland, getting some experience there, and I'm sure that we will hopefully do well again in next year.
Is there many plans in place for next year? Because obviously it's very hard. No one really sort of knows where we stand at the moment, to be fair.
Well, it's tough with the new rules, obviously, with Poland having decided that they can only ride in one extra league outside the extra league, and with two extra if you're in the first division. So that obviously stops a few guys doing what they want to do, riding in Sweden, Denmark, and England at the same time, and Poland at the same time, which is a shame for the guys like Doyle and Neves and those that really want to ride in different leagues. But on the other hand, you have the new rule as far as the under 24 rider is concerned. The extra league has to have one under 21 or 24 rider, which has opened the doors for some, but then shut it for the more established riders like Iversen, probably, which is a shame for them, but it gives the young kids an opportunity. And then in the future, they still on about maybe having foreign under 21 as well. So we'll see what happens. But certainly, as for the future, and if it continues like this with Poland, if they tighten it even further, which rumors has it that they might tighten it down to just Polish League in 22. Then it becomes a problem, certainly especially for the Danes who mainly have their sponsors in Denmark, and have to, if they're going to keep their sponsor, they have to ride in the Danish league.
Yeah.
And also, of course, for the fact that the Danish league need our Danish international to ride in the Danish league, to for the public, for the television and everything. And I'm sure that the Danish rider want to do that, and I'm sure that the English boys and the Swedish boys in the same situation. So that's going to be rather awkward.
What's your actual personal views of this rule?
Well, it's a shame, really. I mean, it's funny when you look at Poland. I mean, I've been riding over there for, well, my first meeting, I think, was back in 80, so I was 41 years ago, and enjoyed it very much. And in the old days, Poland obviously was not as attractive as other countries, but somehow the FIM still managed to organize meetings there. And from what I remember, it was sort of the main reason was, when we were asking why do we have to be stuck in the custom for 3 or 4 hours to go to Poland, and long way and so forth, and nothing really much happening in Poland, but the FIM sort of reason then was, well, it's a European, a world championship and stuff, and we have to spread it out, and we have to help other countries like Poland to get along and to improve on Speedway, and in that respect, obviously, it's a shame now that then Poland has sort of, doing the other way. They sort of decided that speed was only going to happen in Poland, and league meetings are only going to happen in Poland. Or certainly they got to sort of attract the big names and trying to get them just to ride in Poland, not thinking about the other leagues like Danish, British, Swedish league, and German, and so on. So that's a bit awkward, and I think it's a bit selfish, and I think it's a shame. But it's tough when obviously the money is in Poland, and it's the riders want to ride in Poland. The FIM hasn't really got, obviously, proven that they haven't got much say about it, and we have an international league bureau who tries to have a say, or trying to do things about it, but haven't really had much success. So it's a difficult situation, but a bit of an awkward one, I think.
Because obviously people have sort of also mentioned like legal things, as in like stopping you from trade, as it were, in that sense, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's about like the Polish promoters, reckon that it's a free choice. You don't have to sign a contract in Poland. So it's a difficult situation, and I really wonder how it's going to progress, and how bad it's going to be for the leagues in England and Denmark and Sweden and Germany is coming along nicely. So whether that's going to be attractive enough if we don't see our stars in these countries, but time will tell.
Time will tell. We'll have to see how that works out, Hans. I've got Martin Woodhead off of Facebook. He's put, Hans, what was it about the Godden that you obviously loved? You hardly ever missed a start or lost a race. Thanks.
Well, I would always start out firstly on the 2-Bjerge, and then I went on to the West Lakes, and the West Lakes was okay, but then Godden came along and produced a Speedway engine, and I saw a few guys on it, and this was going back 81, I think, and I did. He lent me an engine in an open meeting at Wimbledon, and that was really good. I won the meeting, and I thought, it's great. I'll try it out and try and ride it for the rest of the year, and I did, and I stayed on it. And what I liked about it, I think, mainly was the fact that it had a lot of torque. You could, at the start, you could start with virtually half throttle and just drop the clutch, and you didn't even have to ride it on the clutch. You could ride it on the throttle because it was that strong. Yeah, and it's just obviously helped to make good starts, but it was also pretty fast. And I had my own mechanic in Denmark tuning my West Lakes before that, and obviously he got onto the Godden as well and did a good job with that. And it was just great, you can put smaller sprockets on the back and really ride it in low revs around the corner. It was pulling really well and made it more comfortable to ride when you had inconsistent tracks and grippy tracks. And used to love that, especially at Oxford when they made a really nice deep track for me. So
I remember you around Oxford as a Swindon fan.
All right, okay, yes.
Yeah, I loved coming there to watch it. It's very good.
Yeah, I had some great matches.
Yeah, very good. It was great to see you at Blunden as well, obviously. Got Nick Sawyer here. He's put, hi, Hans. Was it difficult being number one with Wolves in a virtually one-man team?
Yeah, it was a bit really. It's the first year I was there, we had Finn Thompson, and he was like the top guy and doing okay, but we still needed backup from the rest. I did okay, I think about 7.5 average in my first year in the debut season. So
Yeah, very good.
So that was okay, but and it was a great place, and the fans was good, but obviously the promotion didn't probably have the money or didn't want to spend the money on enough good riders. So it was a little bit of a shame team wise, but at least I could then concentrate about my own progression and trying to get better all the time. And although you still try and team ride and do your best, but at the end of the day, okay, we're not going to win much this year, so I'm just gonna gonna try and win as much as I can on my own, and obviously trying to still help the team guys. But as I say, the rest made up for it. It was a great stadium, good track, and great people there. And with it being my debut season, there was a lot of new things for me in life on all counts. So with the riding and special tracks and things. So and certainly you had a bit of a home advantage being a very tight track and fairly grippy and inconsistent sometimes. So you had a bit of a home advantage, and that helped as well getting started well.
Did you like the Wolves track, Hans?
Yeah, I did pretty much. Not when I first got there, because when I came from Denmark, it's we have fairly small tracks, 300 meters, but the Wolverhampton track was different with the dirt. In Denmark, especially at that time, it was like white chalk and shale, black shale, and there really wasn't much grip in it. And it might be a lot of dirt, but not really much grip. So it's fairly easy to turn. But when I came to England for the first time, I will remember that very clearly.
Picking off a bit quick.
When I practiced for the first time, it was really tough. I couldn't turn it properly, and I really had to do a few changes to my riding style and bike setup. So it's really tight turns and grippy. That's a bad combination when you come from a slick track from back home and you only ridden 500cc for 1 year. That was a tough one, and that was in the Danish third division, and now I then come over to the best division in the world at that time. So really tough, different track, different people racing against. You sit alongside the Ivan Madison or Olsen and so on, and the guys you only seen on TV. So that was quite quite a change. But it was great fun, and when I think back, that first year got to be the most, the best, in every way. You come from, I've hardly been outside Denmark before, and as a 17-year-old, you come to a different country, staying with an English family. They had their kids and stuff, and then you just sort of live with the family, and that was really great family, and helped me out all the way. But tough racing when you met these Olsen and Majors and stuff, and as a 17-year-old, if you got anywhere near them, if you were lucky enough, obviously they were pretty tough on you. So
a bit rough,
yeah. But that was good, great experience.
But it was obviously a great learning curve for you. You obviously went in at the deep end, like you said, but obviously it must have made you into sort of a man quite quickly. At a young age.
It certainly did it. I think it, sort of formed my kind of style of racing as well. Being, pretty hard myself, and when you learn that way, obviously, you continue to do so. But certainly, it was. You get lots of crashes because it's first time, and Finn that I rode with at Wolverhampton. Obviously at that time you could choose your gate, and obviously the top guy chose the inside normally, and you were sort of stuck on the outside. And when I did make some pretty good start, Finn Thompson wasn't that great a turner, so he I ended up in the fence quite often.
You're on the outside of him.
Yeah, some pretty heavy crashes. So luckily I got through the season without any serious injuries, but that first year is always pretty dangerous.
Yeah, great memories there. Okay, I've got Stuart Edmonds from Australia. He said he's just off to work, but he'll catch up later on. He's actually asked you what your actual worst crash ever was, and where was it?
That was in Poland. Obviously I came to Poland to ride in the league there in the end of 90, and I don't know whether it was the first year, but one of the first years, somebody ran into me at the first corner in my back wheel, and I just crashed over, and I think three of us crashed, and I was knocked out and woke up at hospital about half an hour later, and was obviously sore everywhere, but I don't think anything broken. But what I do clearly remember is the doctor was going to give an injection of some kind. Sort of, hey, I'm in Poland now. Thanks, I'm awake now. Don't worry. At those times it wasn't quite as advanced in the hospital. So. But that was a pretty lucky one, that I could have got hurt pretty bad there. Yeah. So, but otherwise, I've been quite fortunate not to have serious injuries. But certainly a lot of quite a few pretty bad crashes. But lucky enough to walk away from there, and only breaking a collarbone and a few bones in my foot that another crash. So that's been pretty good, pretty lucky.
A lot to do with obviously how good you were as well, Hans. I'll put that.
Well, I think it helped, with being pretty good at the start.
Yeah,
my career, you get away from them, and see you later. And not getting tainted too much.
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got a nice simple one here. Anthony Case has just simply put, "Hi, did you like the Oxford track?"
But the Oxford track there was two fairly new guys starting to do the track. I think when I moved there, okay. John and Barry, and they got the hang of it pretty quick and did the best track I think in England at the time. Just getting the dirt was really good, a bit of enough clay in there to make it grippy enough, and they were perfectly water and just nice bit of shale and whatever we wanted we could have it, and I wanted dirt, so we got dirt. So. And surprised a few people when especially some of the young Danes coming over, that surprised them a bit. And I remember especially Brian Carger, he was like, a pretty good guy coming over riding Oxford for this first time, and he was riding for Swindon, probably was he?
Yeah,
at
Swindon,
the time when he came over, yeah. So you might have seen this race, I don't know, but
yeah, I might have.
But I remember, actually, he's told me the story a few times as well. I remember telling him before the meetings that just, Brian, this is, a bit trigger track, it's pretty grippy, just make sure you just slag off a bit into the corner and stuff. And Brian was saying, thinking, sure, no problem, man. But what did he do? Obviously kept the throttle on full throttle straight through the fence down the first corner. And so it was a special track, and it was the 9 years I was there, it was a pleasure to ride the track, and it did make up some good racing and stuff. Although luckily I didn't need it too much, making some good starts there with the grippy starts. I love that.
Yeah.
So and with the Gotten pulling down there, that was good. So yes, obviously. You were missing that on some other tracks. The preparation was not always that good in those days. I don't know where they are now, but sometimes you think, obviously, the very most important thing for entertainment is a good track, and you think it's lagging a bit sometimes, which is a shame.
Got quite a few questions to start with, obviously coming in about tracks. It seems from YouTube, John Westbud has put, "What are your memories from Dudley Wood? As I recall you liking Gate 1. And what year that bike was from behind you?"
Yeah, well, Craiglie was a pretty good track. It was a fair bit bigger than Oxford, and different kind of shale, so it was okay. It wasn't my favorite track, but it was okay, and a little bit narrow, but so it was important to make the starts, and obviously the Gate 1 was normally the best, and because it was a little bit tight coming down the first corner, you had normally had an advantage from in there. So that was pretty good. The bike behind me is one of my world championship bike. I won in '89 in Munich. Nice. So it's very
beautiful.
Yeah, nice. I had it actually last year. It was like a gift from some of my friends. They've made a nice little cover here as well for my 60th birthday.
Beautiful,
yeah. So
nice. I did have that in my pictures for later.
Yeah, good,
there we go.
Good.
There we go. We got it. We got it in person. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, that cleared that.
Yeah. We'll get up loads of pictures on later on as well. Some of the Wolves ones that people can see were pretty cool when you were very young and stuff. But yeah, that's very nice. I bet were you really chuffed with that when that was done?
Yeah.
Scott Sean Tacey come through. I remember him at Coventry. He's put Hans is a legend. I had a lot of time for him. What a man and a gentleman as well. Sean Tacey. I remember Sean Tacey.
Thank you very much.
Shannon Holloway. She's obviously related to Malcolm Holloway, we remembered. She's put absolute legend as well. So that's nice.
Thank you.
David Price. He's put, "Hi Hans. Did you enjoy your season at Coventry? And what made you sign for the Bees?"
Yeah, it was when the times when the British League were starting to enforce pay cuts across the board, and you're only allowed to being paid so much, and if you're going to be paid any more, you have to be via a sponsor or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, having ridden for Oxford for 9 years, very happy there, and being paid okay wages. And when these rules came in, and they didn't want to sort of do anything about it, and just expecting me to ride for a lot less money, obviously wasn't too happy about it. Especially as partly the argument for them were that I was going to have a testimonial that year. It was going to be my 10th year for Oxford, which was I was looking forward to, but using that for negotiating for me to ride for less money, I thought was a bit naughty, and so I sort of decided, okay, if this is what it's going to be, the pay rates in England, generally, I'm going to go back home because it's not really worth riding for that kind of money. So Coventry came up and offered me a deal, with an extra sponsors and things. So I thought, okay, I'll take a few years with Coventry. I've always looked up to the Ochiltree promotion at Coventry, and very organised, and thought it would be nice to try something new. I've been really happy at Oxford, but most riders need a change sometime, and the promotion, it's good for both parts sometimes to split up if you've been there a long time, even though you enjoyed a lot. It can still be good for both parts. So yes, I enjoyed that couple of years, but then when we had our first child, Daisy, a couple of years later, we thought it was time to move back to the family in Denmark, but I certainly enjoyed the couple of years there very much, and always, as I said, the track was really good there, always well prepared as well. So yeah, it was good.
That was good then. Okay, got a Facebook user here, no name on this one, they're not registered it, but can you ask Hans about when England versus Denmark, when he got thrown out of a race for not taking notice of the start marshal at Cradley Heath? I don't know if you can remember that, Hans, or...
No, I can't. No, I've been in a lot of races. And when you have a bad experience or something, you try and block it out and forget about it. And that one must have been bad because I blocked it out. Maybe you can explain exactly what happened. Yeah.
Right, next one then. We got someone else, no name on there. Question for Hans. You raced in a time when the Danes led the way, and obviously for Team Denmark. How was your relationship with the likes of Tommy, James J, was probably John Jorgensen,
yeah.
Eric and Jano?
It was very good, actually. We got on really well, especially the first years we were riding together. But as the story has it, when Ollie sort of start to mix in, being the team manager, there was a few problems. But before that, before that, and after he finished as a manager, we got on really well. And it's obviously we were rivals, all of us, and we were all good. We all wanted to win the meetings, and but had some tough races now and then, but at the end of the day, we were traveling together, spending time together on the road and at the meetings, and obviously, Tommy and I had a little get together at Corso at the time with 86 World Final, but we pretty quickly got over that as well, that was racing, and as I say, when we were traveling together and being private, I think we got on very well.
That's good, great. Like you said, things happened. It was very competitive and all that sort of stuff. I've got that must be Wagstaff as well. He's put, hope you and Suzanne are both well. All the best from Waggy.
Thank you very much, Waggy. Yeah, we had some great days at Oxford. Yeah, with Wiggy as well. Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, and then I got Alex Chad. He's put, what do you think was the main reason or thing that enabled you to be able to perform so consistently at the top of the sport?
Well, I think we had a bit of a head start, us Danes, when we started on the 50cc at the time. Now they call it 80cc. We learned at an early age. I started when I was 13 riding these bikes, and rode that for 3 years. And when I was 16, I had 1 year on the 500 and learned very quickly. It was really easy to ride coming from a 50cc because they're very inconsistent. So that helped all of us a great deal. And after that, obviously, when I came to England pretty quickly, I was always totally focused, obviously, on my sport. And I think that was slightly different for us coming to England.
Okay.
Moving away from home, living with another family, which was fine. But you come to England to ride Speedway, and I think that was the difference between like the English guys. They're at home, they're having a good time, and not being not so much pressure felt properly being at home, and it's so I think that also contributed. We were very focused on we come to England to be the best riders in the world, and with what we had in with this, as I said, having started earlier, we could do things that others couldn't on the bike. Some of us, and that certainly helped, and just being more confident on the bike altogether. And then obviously you got to be determined and serious about your business. It's it's a business as well, and it's if you want to be the best, obviously you got to work the hardest and not just on yourself, but with your equipment and with your mechanics and with your whole team. Good support, from met my girlfriend then, Susanna, when I was 18, living at Wolverhampton, and having obviously a good steady life at home, private life helped as well. So there's lots of different things. Being lucky enough to meet some good people along the road, like I said, my mechanic Fleming, tuning my engines, and the good Danish mechanics I had along the road. Good friends, managers from Denmark and stuff, and so it all has to add together in the end, and it did, luckily.
Great overall package, as it were.
Yeah.
You guys were very professional as well, obviously. That's for sure. I've got another one here, and there's no name on it, but he's put, "Hi Lee and Hans, legend. Who is your greatest rider ever?" I presume that means who do you think is the greatest rider ever, and also the best in Britain during your era, and the best Dane as well. So he's got a 3-part question there, by the looks of it.
Yeah, when I first started out, and when I sort of came to England the first year, what you obviously looked up to Ivan Mady and Ole Olsen being the best at the time, and you tried to learn from them, watch them, what they were doing, and obviously if you're looking at the British guys, it's Peter Collins was really good at the time. I wasn't so much trying to learn from his starts, because there wasn't much to learn there, but he was certainly a great racer,
great passer,
and when you got it, when you look for starts, you had to look at Ivan Mady, what he was doing. He was a great starter, and the perfect equipment, really organized, and Ole having a great style as well, and obviously being Danish. And when he won the first world title in '71, I was on 11 and didn't really know much about Speedway at all, but obviously that sort of made you sit up and watch, and hey, you have a Dane here winning a motorcycle race, world championship, and obviously then when I started a couple of years later riding myself, he was the one that we looked up to and tried to model ourselves on a bit, the kind of style he had, and if he could be world champion, you've got to watch out and see what he's doing. So yeah, those pretty much the guys that I was looking up to. Yeah.
That must have been quite surreal then when you first had your first race with Ole Olsen himself, after that being so young. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When I first came to England, I remember the first meeting I did at Coventry. He did come over and said, welcome to England, hello, and I'm Ole, and so on. Oh, it's you, is it? Right. I knew pretty well, but no, he was. Yeah, so that was quite obviously big for me, and riding against him for the first time, and I don't think I beat him, but so it was good.
Yeah, very good. Right, I've got Paul Renault here. He's put, "Evening Lee, evening Hans. It was always a pleasure to watch you. You rode for some great teams over here in England, and were there teams who approached you or liked, perhaps, where if you could have split in two, if you would have liked to have ridden for? Was there another club? Did anyone else approach you in British Speedway, Hans? And was there anyone else you would have liked to have rode for if possible? Or?
Which track did you say you were coming from? Was it Swindon? No.
Yeah.
Actually, Swindon was probably my favorite track, and next off, but probably I like the shape It's great to pass on, and reasonably smooth, and the dirt was nice, not too much ridiculous, a lot of dirt, but enough to get a little drive, and had some nice lines. So if I had the chance to have gone there early in my career, I probably would, because when I was riding at Wolverhampton first and then Birmingham later, they were both small track.
Yeah.
And if there was anything I was struggling with the first few years of my career, was when you got out to the big white cities and big, Chester Horse or whatever in Poland, and it's just turning too much and just not fast enough. And I thought if I could go to a bigger track in England, that would have helped me, but I never really did. And when I did move from when Wolves had trouble, when I've been riding there for 4 years, obviously looking around what were the possibilities, but in the end, there wasn't really any big tracks that really had room for me, and maybe the money to buy me. And so in the end, it was Dan McCormack moving from Cradley to Birmingham. Thought, with him having a lot of success there and being a good promoter, although it was a small track, it could be good to go there and maybe have a chance to win some titles. But we never did. But still, I think he ran out of money pretty quickly. Now that he was his own money, not Derek Pugh's, he was spending. So that was a shame. But certainly, Swindon was one of the favorite ones. I didn't really have much sort of offers from other clubs along the road. Right. I think when Oxford came along, and quite early in the season there, was they were pretty convincing, the setup they had there, and obviously offering good money and everything. And at the time, by that time, I had got used to the bigger tracks and didn't feel that I need now a home track with being big in England. So that didn't really worry me anymore. So I was quite happy to go to Oxford, and certain, after got there the first year and realizing how good it was, very happy to be there.
Oh, I thought we could have had Hans Nielsen at Swindon. Damn.
They never asked. So.
I know. Oh, terrible.
I guess, yeah.
But obviously, growing up as a youngster, obviously my dad and uncle, you might know Martin Ashby, he rode. Yeah, he was my uncle. He rode, obviously. So I grew up there, and obviously through the sort of 80s and 90s, I grew up. When you come as a visitor, it was almost like a massive event if someone was to beat you during the night, even as an away rider.
Yeah,
straight up, it was.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good, and that's obviously I enjoyed that as well. Obviously, being the favorite and the one that a lot of people looked up to, and even though you had people not exactly shouting for you, but they were shouting more against me. But got the atmosphere going, and the more they shouted, I thought, they must have some respect for me. So,
yeah, definitely. That's definitely what the case was, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Because I remember there was a Heat 1 once, and Swindon had Peter Narleen at number 1 at the time, and he actually beat you in Heat 1, and it was like, whoa, like he'd won. Yeah. To all of us, it's like he'd just won a world title beating you in Heat 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably remember that more than me, luckily.
Yeah, that's the only one I can remember of Hans. That's all I got. That's all I got. Right. We got someone here on Facebook called Crystal Healer. Hey Hans, do you remember the lucky fan who you gifted your burgundy Jawa cap to? That was me.
All right, the good luck to you. Yeah, well done. But no, I don't actually. I've done a lot of races during the years.
I know. They expect to remember.
And there's been a lot of great fans around the world. Very very friendly and very good to me. But and giving obviously a lot of stuff away. So
yeah.
This particular one, no, I'm sorry.
I think there's going to be a lot of memories shared tonight that you're probably not going to remember.
Yeah, that's great.
But obviously they do.
That's great.
We're sharing with you anyway. Ashley Thomas has put hi Hans.
Hello.
Oh, we got another one here from YouTube called Fruit Chaser is his name under there, and he's put, what is your golf handicap? I know you're a very good handy golfer, Hans.
Pretty good. 4.9. So.
All right. Okay. Do you get to play anymore still?
Yeah. I do sort of once a week. We've got a team going. So every Wednesday afternoon, and try to keep that going. Normally it's not too much Speedway on a Wednesday afternoon here. So although a few leagues meetings sometime you might have to go to, so try and find another day to play golf. But try to keep it going. Just to still a great sport. Get a bit of exercise, fresh air, and playing with friends. So
that's nice. That's nice. Got Kenny McAllen. He's actually got a profile picture of yourself there. He's put, Hans, do you think you would have lifted more world titles if you were riding GM engines?
Well, I think I obviously look back at your career and you think what could I have done different, what should I have done different maybe, and that is one of the things that I have thought. When I switched from the cotton, they were getting a little, I wouldn't say tired, but done. Wasn't quite up to date with what was coming out. Like GM was getting quite competitive, and Java was coming back on the stage, and I had to make a decision after that. Sort of 91. I thought, something has to happen. I have, Gordon, I couldn't, didn't work quite that well with him, and I did during the years, but he was not really listening to what we were trying to tell him and develop the engine further. So, and obviously with especially the GM being very competitive, I had to do something, but at that time, Java was actually coming on the scene again, and I remember Kelvin Tatum riding it a little bit as well, and he was pretty fast on it. I think one meeting in Oxford, and I thought, try the Java, and I think I've always been a little bit sort of like, against the tide. Everybody's riding GM, and I want to try something else. I don't just want to follow everybody else what they were doing, and the same when I was riding the Westlake and trying the Gotton, everybody was on the Westlake, and a new engine comes along, and I'm sort of being, always a bit experimental and trying to try new things, and if you can get an advantage somehow. And so I jumped on the Jawa. I got obviously a really good deal with Jawa, and they did the complete bike, which was easier as well. And I was quite sure that with my private tuner there, we could get it going as well, and worked hard on it, but looking back, it would have been easier, obviously, to jump on the GM, and they were definitely competitive and maybe the best at the time. So, yes, possibly I could have won some more. I don't know, but if there's anything I regret or something that I know or think that could have made it different, that is it. I probably should have jumped on the GM. Yeah, sorry, Joa.
Thinking about it, I was thinking about this earlier on when I was obviously thinking about the interview tonight. Obviously, you won 4 individual world titles anyway, which is obviously amazing in its own right. And then I was thinking to myself, I could literally pick out 4 or 5 quite quickly that you were just a little bit of luck or a little bit of a break. Very unlucky. It could have been like many more. I was thinking, what was it? The last one-off world final, he was in the runoff with Tony Ricardson and Boyce, wasn't it?
Yeah, at Voins.
A close one there. I remember the GP with Billy Hamill snatching it literally in the last race with maybe a bit of help.
At Voins.
Exactly there as well, but maybe with a bit of help.
That's I've got 6 of them, and obviously when I look back, that's when I think about Grand Prix. If it's been Grand Prix, so those years, I think I could have won 3 of those silver medals instead. But it's sometimes you've got a bit of luck to win. You need a little bit of luck, and obviously I didn't have that little bit of luck, or I did some mistakes or whatever. But obviously when you think there's 6 of them, you think maybe I could have had 1 or 2 wins instead. But there you go. When I look back at my career, I think it's not really so important now whether I won another 1 or 2 or 3. The important thing was firstly to win the first one in Katowice, Corso, and to prove that to myself and to everybody else
you can do it.
I could do it, especially after being run up twice in a row to Eric.
That's getting annoying.
But so that was the most important thing, and then to win it again and again and 4 times altogether. When you look back at your career, I'm very happy that I did that. Then yes, of course, I was chasing records at the time, trying one to be alongside Ivan Major, beat him with the 6 titles, but as you say, a few slipped along the way, and but as I say, I'm very happy with what I did, and today, if I've had 2 or 3 more, it really wouldn't have made much difference in the way I think about my career and how much I've enjoyed it. But as I say, when you're in it, and you obviously want to chase those titles, but now I'm quite happy. 4 is fine.
You had a few runoffs, didn't you? I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Eric and I was in the Bradford one as well. And obviously at Voynes with Eric, and I had run off for second place at Ullevi also in '84 against Lance and Chris Lewis, wasn't it? In what was that in '83 in Poking? Not '83, sorry. Yeah, that was in 93. And
what was the one where you sort of you could have had an exclusion? It was 50-50 with you and Sam Ermolenko. I remember you like.
Yeah, it was actually quite,
one.
sometimes compared with the one with Tommy and Horso in '86. I had a bit of luck there, not getting excluded, and in with Ermolenko in '93, he probably had a bit of luck. It went his way, and so there's some things go your way, and some don't. But on average, it normally sort of turns out pretty fair. Although, as you say, probably could have been a little bit more fair in a couple of in my favour.
But you could have done but
as I say, it's been great being up there and thereabouts for all those years. When I first qualified for the first one in Ullevi in '80, just missed the one in '92 when I had the broken collarbone, not qualifying from skiing in the Scandinavian final, struggling a bit on a wet track there after 3 weeks after I broke the collarbone. So that was really the only one I missed all the finals till I retired and finished, obviously, with a bronze in the last Grand Prix. So I was quite happy with my career.
Yeah, but amazing it was, Hans. Right, I got Mark Davey. He's put, "Hi Hans, do you remember riding with my uncle Mal Taylor at Oxford?"
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Mel was he was a good steady rider. Maybe needed a little bit more thump, a little bit more guy sometimes, being a little bit careful, but a great stylish, steady, safe rider. Yeah, certainly, and a nice guy.
Okay, got next one. Matt Stevens. I know he's been involved with some Reading Speedway over the last sort of few years when they've sort of brought some teams back. He's put, "Did you enjoy the double header bank holiday meetings against Reading racers, against your Per Jonssons, Jan Andersons, and what memories do you have of those?"
Yeah, that was really great. It was very special having one meeting in the morning and one in at night, and also we had with Swindon, of course.
Yeah,
and,
I used to love that.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah, the kind of thing you might lose in the morning, and then you still had a chance to win at night, and vice versa. And with probably most of mainly the same crowd, obviously being there in the morning and afternoon. So it was always a really good atmosphere, and obviously with that we were both pretty good teams, as you say, with Jan Andersen there. We had some really good and close races with him throughout the years, not only in British League but also internationally and all the Scandinavian finals and what have you. Most of the times we're pretty lucky with the good weather on bank holiday Monday. Yes, remember them fondly. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Got Nervo63 on YouTube. Has put, "Hello Hans, what memories do you have of my hometown team, Hull Vikings, at the Boulevard track?"
Well, what sticks up in my mind from Hull is when I knocked Ivan Major off trying to pass him into the third corner. We both came up and ended up in hospital. I think I've still got a sore back from it, actually. A very narrow track and really difficult to pass. And as I mentioned before, Ivan was a superstar, and you had to pull something special out to pass him, especially at his home track. And I nearly did pull out something special, but there just wasn't enough room in there, and I just got caught up. So I remember it as there was always, I think, a pretty good crowd there and a good atmosphere, but you just knew that when Ivan was there, it was virtually impossible to beat around there with his quick starts.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm actually going to take a couple of requests from my phone because they're blowing up my phone as well. So I'll go with it. I've got a Chris Simpson. He's got a Coventry Bees logo there on his profile. He's put, "Who is your closest friend from your old racing days? Who are you still in regular contact with?" I'll let you answer that one first. He's got two.
You obviously mean a rider, I presume.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny enough. The one I'm sort of closest to now working with is Eric Anderson, obviously, and he was, we were pretty good friends when we were racing, especially when we first came over there, both of us, meeting visiting each other with, he had already then as well, Hella as his girlfriend, and I had Suzanne, and we met up, and travel quite a fair bit together. And I remember one trip, especially in those early years, we went all the way to Italy, Lonico, in my little Scirocco car together. And so yeah, we had lots of good times, and now we're working together. He's, as I say, he's the team manager and the trainer for the young guys, and I'm for the seniors. So we have to work together, planning everything, the league stuff, and teams and troops and everything. So yeah, I would say he's probably the one that I've known all along, and still meet him quite often. And Tommy we've got on quite well actually, and he's playing golf, and I met him a fair bit in Denmark for various golf tournaments and things. So, but really close friends as close by. I live in north of Jutland, so everybody else lives in the south. So it's not like. Okay. Visit each other every week now. But it's obviously it's good to have known obviously the riders, but also other friends around the world, which still keep their contact, and that's one of the great things about being a sportsman. You travel a lot, you visit a lot of places, you meet people, great people, and keep in touch, and good friends. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And his second part of his question is, he's put, if you could be convinced to jump on a bike in 2021 and you rode regularly, how good would you be? And could you still race at a GP standard like Greg did?
No, obviously I don't. Obviously I couldn't know, but it's hard to. I would never know because I'm going to get back on a bike. But physically, I probably could race it. No problem, and pretty fast as well. But obviously, it's new times, it's new guys, it's new bikes, and we saw Jano Peterson, trying it, a few years after he retired, and found it extremely difficult. So in your mind, you might think, oh, yeah, I can go as fast as I used to, but obviously even that today would probably be slower than what they're going today. So no, I wouldn't be competitive in a Grand Prix, I'm quite sure. And I'm not going to try. No, don't worry.
A few of us might beg to differ, but we'll take your word.
Well, I doubt it.
Right, I've got a pitch. Someone sent me a picture on my phone, John Westwood, and he's put, can you ask Hans the story behind this? I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but basically looks like you've got Bowray oil levers on with Pennell on the back.
Yeah, remember that one? Yeah, well, vaguely. I remember I had it on. I think it could have been White City or somewhere. Exactly why, I've actually wondered. I saw it on the Twitter the other day, and I'm actually not quite sure. Maybe he can help us along. Does he know since he's asked? But I think I had forgotten my own or something. It hadn't turned up with because on the air, on the plane or something. But in that case, it probably wouldn't be White City. It must have been a meeting somewhere abroad, I would think. But so I'm not certain what it was.
Totally sure. Yeah.
To be honest. But, but it fitted me perfectly. So
it looks amazing. You got a Pennell on the back.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with them. Right, I'll take one more off my phone and then I'm going to stop doing that, people. Otherwise, you'll have me all over the place. Right, I've got Stuart and Adele Baker. They obviously clearly followed you up and down the country from this message. He's put, Lee, can you ask Hans? We watched him ride live, apart from on television, was at Reading and Wimbledon in early '84. I'm pretty sure back-to-back maximums from that day forward. He was a genius. We followed him up and down the country with Oxford and across the world, going to watch him in his world final triumphs as well. All the great years he had at Oxford was the best ever times. His team riding was a joy to watch and was poetry in motion. Great days with Wiggy, Cocker, Razza, Bernard Crapper and John Payne. So I was honoured to call you my all-time sporting hero and proud to call you and Susan as friends. Glad you are over your recent illness and back in the road to recovery. I am sure that goes from everyone connected to Oxford Speedway. And when we reopen the stadium, we hope soon you'll come down for the opening. That would be the greatest day ever. All the best, Stuart and Adele, Baker, and all the family. Long-winded, but I'm sorry, but it was smaller. Go on the hours.
Well, thanks, Stuart. Yeah, we had some great time. Yeah, it certainly was. Thanks for that. And I say, it's been great having you as followers and friends as well. Yeah, so. So it's great, and that's obviously what we've always enjoyed, especially when we first came over. Also realized how loyal and great that the English fans were, and that special atmosphere that you got there in England. It's has been special and great to live through.
That's why it's really nice to do these things, because everyone still holds so many memories and still like love you guys, and it's amazing all the years later. Got Marty Clyde on Facebook. He's put this is a bit of a memory. 93 world final in Pokin. Personally think the referee cost you the title that day. Still the greatest ever rider in my humble opinion. So that's very nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Paul Barnes has put, what was your memory of the Amsterdam final? I'm sure that it was a great trip. Was that the 2-day one, Hans?
It was, yeah. That was obviously even better when I won it, but
exactly.
it was the first, I think, experiment from the CCP and the great Jos Fassen and Günter Sorbe at the time, sort of trying different things out. I think before eventually they got to the Grand Prix idea. Mm-hmm. And it was a pretty good idea, but it never really took off, and that was just the one-off. They didn't do it again. But from a rider's point of view, I thought it was certainly different, and there was a little bit of Grand Prix style of it, because I didn't have the best of days on the first day, but then you have a chance to make up, which you also have now in the Grand Prix. And as I say, if it's been more like that over the years, and we started out earlier doing that, I might have had a better chance, because I did feel that I was had a fairly sort of steady season, the whole season, not just the early part, late part, or just being the big meetings, or pretty steady all around with the Grand Prix and the open the league and the open meetings around the world. So that could have helped. So, but I certainly enjoyed it, especially, as I say, because I had the chance to make up for the first day, and did with a 15 making, didn't I? And won the world title. So obviously, very fun memories.
Right, brilliant. He just come back on as well and said thanks ever so much for asking that. So he's really chuffed for that. So that's great. Right. Tony King on Facebook's put, hi Hans, over the years, who was your best teammate and for team riding with? It's an interesting one.
Well, I think the best team riding I felt was probably at Oxford, and most of the guys we had in the team, I think we were all pretty determined that we were going to win the team events by team riding. Mm-hmm. So obviously, when I rode with Wiggy, that was good. We were obviously both sort of fairly equal, good riders, technical and especially at home, obviously knowing the track, we really could do things together and did, and obviously with him being the way he was, a very, very great team guy in the pits, and always happy and being funny and stuff, and he kept the team spirit going as well, and so sadly missed, but certainly, he was very determined and professional as well. He was at the beginning more a grass track and long tracker, but he certainly did extremely well in the Speedway as well. And where we were at the track, we together, we pretty much knew where we were without having to look too much. So you probably Wiggy.
Yeah, very nice. I've also got Julie Blackwell on Facebook. She's put, an amazing guy. So proud to see you at Peterborough. Not sure if you know who that is. Hans?
Sorry, I need my glasses on.
I was just debating putting mine on.
They're not strong enough, my glasses.
Bit of HD there.
Yeah. Was there a question also, or was it just?
I think she just said proud to see you at Peterborough, so you must have met you at Peterborough.
I would. So it was Peterborough was a very special track. It wasn't one of my favorite actually. That was what we talked about before. Very big, big, and obviously it helped when you make good starts, but it wasn't one of my favorites. It was very narrow as well, so there wasn't much room for passing, really, I felt at the time, but I think they might have changed it a bit now, but it was still did okay there.
I've got someone making the debate of the best of all time again. Matt Davis has put, hi Hans, there's a long standing debate as to who was the best of all time. he's put Major, Nielsen, Ricardson are popular choices among the fans. How does that feel to be rated as one, obviously the best of all time, which I mentioned before?
Yeah, very honoured, and obviously being compared to the likes of Major especially, and Tony being a great aggressive rider. It's nice to be up amongst them, and obviously they are other 4 times winners as well with funding and the like of breakers and stuff, and they got to be right up there as well. And so it's a nice little team to be in.
Yeah, it's very special. It's nice. I'm presuming this must be a Kennett, because I've put, it might be Barney. He's put evening Lee and Hans. Love the trophy room, just like my brother Gordon. So I'm thinking it's Kennett.
It must be, yeah. Gordon Kennett. Yeah, he was a
great rider,
very stylish and very good rider. Again, being English, obviously not such a good start, I think, but that was I don't know why, but that was generally an English problem in those days. But he was a great rider and pretty hard rider, and good technique and very steady. And I can't really recall seeing him crash or anything like that. So we had some great races, yeah.
I'm sure he had a second in the world at one of the finals.
I think he did. Yeah.
Can't remember what year that was.
Before my time, actually, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
I took most of the seconds, so it must have been before my time.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got Andrew Pollard on Facebook. He's put, "Hi Hans, you had an amazing record with so much success, but how and what gave you the motivation to stay at the top of the sport for so long and have an unprecedented career?"
I think the most important, was enjoying it, and when you first start out, obviously you start out because you love to ride a motorbike, and luckily that feeling kept going for a very long time in my career, and just being out there competing is a lot of it as well. And I think sort of towards the latter years of my career, what also stirred me on, obviously, you get the kick from winning and get the kick from competing and get the adrenaline going, but also experimenting with your bikes and trying different things, and obviously it's trying to improve all the time, get better in any way, every way, and so it's just a great way of making a living, obviously being a hobby, and being obviously pretty good at it, winning most of the time. Is a satisfaction in itself, and obviously, as I say, it's a way of earning a good living, and being able to also hopefully have a good life after the Speedway. So lots of things that I like about it, yeah. But and as I mentioned before, getting you get around to see the world at the same time, meeting lots of people around the world, getting friends around the world, and so yeah, and even although it was busy during the year, you rode in different leagues. There wasn't that much time to play golf and things like that, but then at least you had the winter, the season finishing at the end of October and not starting till next March. You did have a good holiday in the winter, although you still had lots to do with sponsors and building up new bikes and stuff. It was still a good holiday. We were going on most winters in the south somewhere, and even Australia a few times to go and then race a little bit, but it was more like a holiday, just doing maybe one meeting a week, and then the rest of the time you can go and water ski, jet ski, play golf or whatever. So it was more holiday than anything else. Downtime, and a paid holiday at the same time. Maybe you're taking a bit of money back home as well. So
always good.
Yeah.
That goes on to this question perfectly from Ben Piggin, actually. Hans, it's put, "Hi Hans, how did you find the tracks in Australia, and were they much different to the European tracks? And also, did you ever get to ride Mildura?"
Yeah, well, one of the one that sticks out mostly in my memory when we're talking about Australia is actually Mildura, because we rode there once in the afternoon, about 3:00. I think the meeting started. It must have been, 45 degrees hot, centigrade. It was ridiculous, black leathers, and there's a river next to it. I think we jumped in it after. It was just so hot, but it was a great little track, and a bit of plenty of dirt, and but out in the middle of nowhere. So But yes, the tracks. Otherwise, that most of the tracks were different. When you rode it, the Sydney Showground or Perth. Perth was more like a long track. It must have been about 500 meters or something like that. And the bikes was really struggling with the gear. You had to pull. You really had to use the clutch a lot and needed a strong engine. So. And obviously, in Sydney and Adelaide and stuff, they were just big showgrounds and very dangerous because you didn't have a proper fence on some of them, and obviously no air fence at the time. So that was, but it was, the shale was different as well. It was more like sandy and sort of certainly in the big showgrounds, but I think the Liverpool one was quite good. That was more like that was more like a normal about 300 meter track, and the dirt was pretty good. There was a bit of clay in there, and enjoyed there. I think that was the track I went to the first time I came to Australia in about 78. So many moons ago, but obviously enjoyed it very much. The Australians were fairly laid back, and so we had a good time, and remember with Billy Sanders, quite friendly with him over there, stayed with him a bit and did some motocross and nice. Water skiing. He was the first one I've seen actually bare feet water skiing, which was quite impressive. So,
yeah, very, very.
I didn't try it myself, but at least we got on the one ski. So lots of good things.
Times,
and and a lot of the riders got together, with Cigalas and Penol and all them, and we had a great time over there.
We normally get about sort of a good half an hour to 3/4 an hour behind the questions, because obviously it sort of builds up quickly. There's been hundreds already, but I've just spotted one that come up from another legend, Mr. Eric Gunderson.
Ah, I know him, yeah. Nice picture,
we know him. We know him.
Yeah. I tried to ring him today and never answered me. Why?
Oh, look at that. So Eric's not answering his phone, eh?
No.
Terrible.
Yeah.
We've just ousted him out for it live anyway.
Joe was cheaper hands, yeah, right.
Yeah, Joe was cheaper hands. So I presume that was about the question earlier about the bike.
Maybe not in the end. No. Maybe I would have taken a couple of your titles if I got your GM, but you never know. Sorry, Eric.
You never know. We've had that discussion, Eric.
Yeah.
We've got to get Eric to answer his phone for starters, and then also he said he was going to do an interview with me as well. So hopefully we can get that down. So
right. So good to hear from you.
If he answers his phone anyway, Hans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, I've got Matt Davis has put the year you achieved the perfect 12-point away average. Is that right? Can you remember that? I don't know.
Yeah.
How much was it playing on your mind to go through the season with win every single race you were in? Did you think about it?
No, I didn't. I didn't really think it was possible. I mean, it was a bit silly in a way that it was away. I did it. You would have thought if you'd done it anywhere, it would have been at home, especially at the track that I like so much. But it just so happened that it had to be away. But during the season, I didn't think much about it. Just, great, nice max next to on to the next one, and so it didn't really play on my mind. And I just want to win in a race, every race as much, if you possibly could. But to actually have a max away from home was obviously towards the end was great to think about it. But I can't actually remember really playing on my mind being any extra pressure as such. But that's
a good thing then. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and maybe that helped.
Definitely.
That's
amazing. It's amazing achievement. Did you think was you proud of that at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I still am actually.
Amazing. Yeah, very. Would be, yeah.
So yeah, quite an achievement. Yeah, so I'm not sure it's been done before or after.
No, I was going to say I can't remember that being done before or after. Amazing. Yeah. Right, I've got someone that clearly knows you here. They're down as Jan FS on Facebook, but they've said Hans Nielsen used to live up the road from us here is that Brereton, Hans?
Brereton.
We used to go up. Yeah, we used to go up now and again, and we would sometimes meet them in the garage, Hans and his mechanic. My dad would be chatting away with the mechanic, asking specific questions about the bike settings, etc. And the mechanic was just saying, no. It wasn't until Hans returned into the garage and said, oh, No, don't bother talking to him. He can't talk English, and the only word he knows is no.
Yeah, it must have been my first family, Cheslin Hey, must have been, yeah. So there was a few
That's really
villages
cool.
and small, yeah. So as I say, the first year over there, if that was the one year, that was a great time, and I had to learn the English properly, and obviously you learn English at school, but it's different to when you come to a
very.
black country, Wolverhampton, and have to talk the local lingo there. So
That's a language on its own.
yeah, sure is.
Amazing. Got Wayne Hutt. He's put, if you could rerun a world final race that cost you a world title, what year and race? Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, when you look back at the '93 with Sam, obviously I should have just backed off and would have won it then. But with him winning it on was it 13? And I could have won it on 14 maybe. But but it's easy when you look back.
Hindsight,
what you should have done.
hindsight.
Hindsight, yeah. So if I could do that, I would have won a few more. But otherwise, the things that has happened in those World Finals that I haven't won, it has been, it's obviously small things that I don't think I could have, when you look at the Bradford one in '85, I crashed in my fourth race, bending my bike, and had to go on my spare one, for the run up with Sam and Eric. And so I can't really say that. Yeah, I wanted my first bike, and I would have ridden that. Yeah, but it was bent, and I couldn't use it. So
it happens.
Yeah, and when I lost to Eric at Voyage, he made the gate. He won the toss of the gates for the run up, and made the start, and we were obviously very equal on the night, and he obviously fully deserved that, but you need that little bit of luck, and he had a little bit of luck winning the toss, and as I say in Corso against Tommy, I was a little bit lucky not get excluded, and so it some you win, some you lose, and so
you could have had a bit more luck in some finals, but in general sometimes. I've got Jeff Daniels. He put, hi Hans. Lee spoke to Chris Morton last week, and Chris told us the view on the runoff in 1984 British League Riders Championship. How that he said that he outfoxed you coming up the inside of you. What's your view of it? And thanks by you. You were a great quality rider. Reminded me of Ivan Major. Very professional. Stay safe and good luck. I don't know if you can remember that. There was a runoff for the British League Riders. I presume it was at Bellevue.
Yeah, he was always a bloody nuisance around there because I'm at the start most of the time, and it was the same with both him and obviously Peter Collins, and the way the track, that old Bellevue track, was so big and wide, and you just sort of couldn't stop people if you wanted to, but and they were so fast, they were so fast around there that sure I probably took him out a little bit, and he switched under me and made the long straight and passed me. So well done, Chris. He probably wasn't the only one. The only time you did it. Every time we went for the league there, we had some great races, and certainly enjoyed it. It was a totally different track to anywhere else in the UK, and that was probably the track I should have gone to if I really wanted to learn to ride big tracks the first few years I was there. But obviously the Morton and the Collins was there, so there wasn't room.
It was very interesting. He went into sort of the thought process of that you had the inside, or obviously the inside in gate 2, you had the inside, he had the outside. He sort of thought that he presumed that you would think that he's going to go out wider for the dirt as normal. So he was sort of thinking that you're probably going to come up the inside to the dirt to block him, and then he was already trying to think of cutting back already, type of thing. It's very interesting. Do you guys sort of think to yourself, or do you just do it on instinct? Do you think of a plan B, how it was going to work out in the first corner?
Yeah, you don't normally have a plan A, but quite often it gets changed, as you mentioned. And you have, I think, once, when that plan A doesn't work, you instinctively just do whatever comes to you in whatever situation you're in, and you have to just think fast, or not even think. It's just a reaction.
You do it.
Yeah, it's on the backbone. So And the same obviously with when you're in the situation with being in danger of crashing or somebody crashes in front of you, the way you lay the bike down or whatever, or to avoid them, just happens instantly and luckily enough.
Yeah, no time to think.
So,
right, I've got Davey Elliott's put. I just want to say to Hans, being a Racers fan, Reading Racers, you were great to see ride, and you were just awesome. Thanks for the memories. Oh, I've got another rider come on, Hans. Ronnie Corrie.
Ronnie Curry,
I did an interview. I did an interview with him a few weeks ago. He's put Ronnie the Rocket, Hans Nielsen. What a legend! I was honoured to race with him. It's a nice one.
Yeah. Great. Was a great racer, Ronnie, and I remember some great races we've had over the years. And tiny little rider, and had some speed, obviously, as well. Yeah. So it was great.
Good gator.
Good gator, and so it was good. And with there's lots of few Americans coming over, and we've had some tough races and some World Cups and stuff. It's been fun as well, especially the one at Long Beach. Remember that was. A lot of Americans who locked us in the changing room, couldn't get out for the meeting. So thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I'm not sure what happened, but I know that we were locked in the changing room. I think
that's got to be foul play, surely.
Yeah, sure. So,
definitely tap six and all that. Hands.
Still won it. So
still won it. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
probably made us more determined. Yeah. So
they were trying all sorts then.
Yeah.
Right, I've got someone on YouTube's put, can Hans remember racing at Boston with a Danish team?
I think we did a test match or something, didn't we? Yeah. I've been around a few tracks sort of once, like Stoke and other places, but obviously they don't stick that high, and it's no world championship and having ridden 100 meetings a year, and so for sort of 20 years, it some of them sort of slips away quicker than others. But it's that's the fun part of it. Being in England, there were so many different tracks and shapes and quippy and slick and bumpy and what have you, and that's why we still think it's great for the young kids to come over from Denmark as well to learn the trade and if they can. But obviously nowadays it's a more I wouldn't say difficult, but you're tempted also by the other leagues in Poland and Sweden, and if you're good enough to go straight there, some of them do. So not so many come over like I did, and the Danes at the time just say, okay, now we're moving to England. We're going to ride in England professional Speedway, and that's it. And we might come back to Denmark to do one or two meetings and do obviously the World Championship qualifiers and so on. But we were actually based over there, living there, staying with quite often a family, and having lots of help from them, and just sort of that way. Being having friends and stuff, and these days it's mostly that riders just maybe still lives in wherever you come from and just fly to England, ride the meeting, come back again. But you still have obviously like of Kennebjerg and Iversen having been living over there, and I think still enjoying it. But so it's been great times over there, and it certainly helped. I think most of us, I know it's helped us a lot being over there, and just the way that you could do so many meetings and on so many different tracks and learn the trade.
Been awesome to get so many good riders coming on as well to see us. Got another one here, Richard Knight. He's put good evening, Lee and Hans. I remember Richard Knight. Yeah,
certainly. Yeah, also a great rider from the past. Yeah,
very good
from you, Richard.
Yeah, very nice.
So the Ipswich specialist. Yeah, so it's had some good races around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was at King's Lynn, wasn't he, for a while? Did you enjoy King's Lynn and Ipswich? What was your thoughts on them?
I think I did quite well around Ipswich, but I didn't really enjoy the track that much. It was a bit narrow at the time, and whereas King's Lynn was a bit bigger and quite often, some pretty good grip and at the start as well, some grip, and so I like that more. Yeah, but I certainly had probably the better meeting at Ipswich for some reason or another. Because I normally did quite well there, and we had 16 lapper, and
I remember that. That was crazy.
Lapper, I think as well. Yeah. So that was pretty tough, and some good open meetings there throughout my career, and won quite a few of them. So it's been a good hunting ground.
Yeah, that was good then. They've changed the track quite a bit at Ipswich a couple of times now, sort of bringing in the curve and making it wider and stuff.
Yeah, it certainly needed that. Yeah, as I say, it was a bit narrow in the old days.
Bit
so
narrow,
it's
yeah.
good to see that they've changed it. I have been back to see it. Yeah, it's certainly a better racing track now. Yeah.
Yep. Marty Clyde's put, winning the world title in '86 after being so close previously, what was the overall feeling? Pretty happy, I'd imagine.
I was pretty happy. Yeah, it was, it was just as much as a relief to.
I was just about to say a relief.
Yeah, to finally,
amazing.
yeah, it was an amazing feeling, and knowing that I'm not going to be the forever number 2. I can win world title.
Exactly
that.
Great. Brilliant. On YouTube, in my opinion, Hans should have been world champion at least 6 times. And out of interest, how does Hans rate Michael Lee?
Very highly. He was a very natural, great rider, and one of the few good British starters, as I mentioned before. And yes, a shame. Obviously, he got into the trouble that he did, because otherwise he would have, I think, gone on to win more titles. But certainly, when he won the first one or when he won the title in '80 in Ullevi was my first one, and actually he was on the Java then. And what I remember it for as well, I suppose, was Ola did not qualify, but Finn and I did, and he was helping Michael Lee on the night, so which we weren't too happy about. So, but
could imagine.
But certainly a naturally talented rider and a great bloke as well.
I remember Bruce Pennell sort of being quite complimentary about Michael Lee. He was one of the toughest competitors.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got Brian Bassett on YouTube. Hans, do you? Oh no, not another remembering one. Hans, do you remember at Birmingham? I was riding Men in Black on a Rudge, and you come and took our bikes and rode them.
Yes, I did actually. Yeah, I do. Yeah, that was
brilliant.
I'm glad I didn't have to ride it all night though.
That's a bit crazy.
Yeah, but I think obviously when they did ride the bridge and the old Rotex and whatever they're called in the old days, it was on totally different tracks, bigger, roundish, and lots of dirt and on different tires. So obviously totally different kind of racing. It was more like grass track, stylish, almost long track. But so I didn't really envy them. I'm glad I didn't have to ride that every night.
Yeah, I'm sure. I got Simon Corbett. But did you like the rivalry between Oxford and Cradley?
Yes, I did, and also obviously with the local tracks like Reading and Swindon especially, but obviously Cradley with Eric there, and there was always quite electric atmosphere. And when we met, and it was always who's going to win this race, and is Eric going to go through the tapes or not? I hope he's listening now, because it did most of the time in that first year when they changed from not being allowed to touch the tapes.
Oh, the touching,
yeah. He must. I think he did mention on average. Actually talked about it this year. I think on average he did at least one disqualification at every meeting. So
wow, did he?
Because of the tapes, it was ridiculous. It was crazy. So unfortunately, he did learn as he went along, but not to go to the tapes. But yeah, it was and obviously quite equal. I think we had some great equal matches, really close ones. And fighting for the championships and things. So that was really good old days.
I got an interesting question here. John Evans has put, Hans, did you practice that iconic wheelie or just do it naturally?
It's a good question, actually. I never really practiced it. It sort of came to me, I think, because in those years, sort of mid '80s, and I was pretty fast and winning races with quite a margin sometimes, a lot of times actually, and you sort of think, this must be bloody boring for the public to watch when you have a lap in front. So I thought, try and do something, probably flew wheelies or something, and so I just happened when I was doing the race. It wasn't as though I practiced doing races when you're not racing meetings. It was just practice it when I was winning races, because sometimes I did have quite a margin and had time to do it. So it just became more and more. And I think also Penhall, or whether he was first or me or with the same time, I'm not sure, but he did it as well at the same time. And I think that the public did like it, I think, at the time.
I think everyone still talks about this iconic picture This is the one that Mike Patrick, wasn't it? When he was led down on a mattress at Oxford.
Yeah, it's certainly been talked a lot about, and obviously probably everybody knows the story, but obviously it was very brave of Mike laying on the track just I don't know, 30 centimeters from my back wheel there, and I wasn't quite sure how close I dare go, but this was pretty close, and it was actually pretty easy to control when you come out the corner, and when you're sort of laying down, and you could actually turn the bike inside out a little bit with that style, and actually quite enjoyed it. And I think Mike was quite excited as well when he was who pulled it off. But that obviously this particular there was another picture that was shot with Mike laying on the ground. I think that was John Gaisford from Oxford Mail that took that one, and that was also very good. So it's good. I had a lot of fun out of that one.
We might as well show a few pictures while we're on the pictures. Got one here. Is that the?
That's the British League Championship. When was that? Well, obviously he didn't pass me on the inside there in a run of.
No, definitely not.
Got one
good
bag
old
on
Kelly
you
as well. Good old Kelly.
Yeah, of course, Kelly. Yeah, so we mentioned natural talent and great rider, and obviously a great chap. Had some fun with him as well. Yeah, so pity that obviously a little bit more serious, and he could have kind of won titles as well.
Very nice in full flow there at Oxford.
Yeah, and good old days at Oxford. Yeah, as you can see, nice track there, smooth and sometimes nice and grippy as well. Yeah, it's and with that red helm color, probably start on the inside there. Would be nice.
Yeah, been gone.
yeah. Yeah, not very pretty, but good memory. But golden helmet, that part of it.
Always nice to win that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was bloody heavy though. I got them in the cabinet as well. So. Right at
Is
the back.
That in there as well?
You can actually see them. You can actually see them there. I got two of them. Yeah. So.
Brilliant.
So that's great. And
nice one there. Look, with Ivan.
A good old bless him. Yeah, he was great to have him in the corner in '86 when I won the first world title. It's obviously having lost the title twice against Eric. In '84 and '85 with Ireland by his side and with all the stuff that went along. We thought it was time to do something similar or to put a bit of respect in the Eric Olsen camp, and it seemed to work. Whether it was because of the help to me, or whether it was because of the respect he put in the other corner, probably a bit of both.
Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to them sort of meetings, the guys that you guys are so good, it sort of comes down to a few little mental games, little things, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was never really the sort of mental player in that respect. I know some guys used to say, he's just delaying the start, because you want to
play games,
play games against others. But it's never really like that. I was just trying to find a good rut and make a good start. But so I didn't really use that as a tool, not just in the start, but not really in the meetings either. Like the likes of as the likes of Ivan and Ola was, I think they did in the old days, and of course Ola took it on to help Eric and used it there, and which obviously worked for them. But I was nearly really not that way inclined. I was just trying to do what I could, race the bike the best I could, and being as well prepared as I could. And then the mental part of it was, I think I learned along the road. The first few years on World Finals, I wasn't really geared up mentally enough, I don't think, and that obviously didn't help. But when you got to the mid '80s and when we start, with the close races with Eric and others, I think I got the mental game pretty right to be performing at maximum, and so that. But as I say, it took me a little while. But as far as using it sort of against the other guys, I wouldn't say. It was only really to help myself to be right up there where you're going to perform the best you can.
Okay, fair enough. I got a nice one there with Marvin Cox and Simon Wigg there at Oxford.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, Marvin, we haven't mentioned much, but he
No.
was also a great team guy, and we had some great races together, and he had great style, and that was one of the big advantages. We had such a great team spirit, and everybody got on really well, and we always had a great talk in the changing room after when we won the meetings with Skull sponsorship. We had a crate of beer. We would have a beer after. So
That's
it
nice,
wasn't any more. It wasn't any more serious that we could have a beer after to celebrate. And yeah, great times.
Yeah, good. I'm going to get Marvin Cox on as well, so that'd be a cool one. That'd be interesting.
Yep.
Is you in full flight at Coventry?
Yeah.
Looks like, is that long track there or grass track?
I think that's probably grass track. You can just see the grass on the outside,
I
and
see
it
that.
starts, it normally starts off a grass track, but in the end you're just riding on soil really, and they get really rough, and you can see that you have to lay the bike down a lot, and you're going really fast. So it was quite hairy really.
I was going to say, did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that?
In one, yeah, it was okay, but obviously not like Speedway and the long track. I did it mainly. I think what started off really was on the sun. In those days, there wasn't really much to do. Obviously, you did have some world championships and things, but when you didn't, there was long tracks and grass tracks around the world, and a lot of good riders doing it. And I thought, well, we'll try and do that on a Sunday afternoon and earn a bit of money. But it wasn't as though it wasn't like, oh, I want to be world champion. Of course, I did. I tried to become a world champion, but it wasn't like Speedway. That was all fired up to win the Speedway. But this was a sort of a side sport for me, really. But it was it still took some brave riding.
Is that maybe the 2-day meeting? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is. I think that's Amsterdam. Yeah,
it looks like it.
Sam's second there, and it's at Henny Cruiser maybe behind or Matusek, or what's the flag he's got on there?
Just trying to see. I can't see that very well.
But that track also was very, it was very slickish, and you really had to make some good starts. And luckily, I did make some pretty good starts. And the good old Gotten, they lasted home for the win, so that was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's no Peterson behind me there, and pushing me a bit. I think it was, but
get a bit close.
Or was it? Yeah, or was it? No, it wasn't Williams. I'm not sure whether it was actually, but it was a close one. And as we know, Jano was never really the great starter. So, but he was very fast, and you knew that when he was behind you, you really had to go the best you can, because he was going to get close. So if he the only I think 5 starts he made in his career was probably when he won the world title.
When he won,
yeah. So he saved them well together. Shame, obviously, with his injury.
Really bad.
Following year, and he could have gone on to do great things as well, I think.
Yeah, nice one there. That must be the 2-day one, I presume, is it? I see Eric and Sam there, but I don't know. Maybe that was.
No, it's what's on the body color there? Can't really see.
Looks like the Danish flag on both.
It's could be qualifying. No, that must be at Amsterdam. Yeah, that must be.
I'm thinking that's what it is. It looks like the same sort of levers Sam had on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So good memory. Yeah. Nice bit of champagne there. Yeah, it tastes really nice when you're from up there. Yeah, definitely.
Another nice one there with Wiggy.
Yeah. With all the meetings and titles we won together for Oxford was great.
Great view there in Oxford.
Good start there, with a good old Gotten, and a nice bit of just lifting the front wheel going forward, and riding it on the throttle, So it was funny when, as I say, it was could ride it on the throttle because it was so strong. It was really nice. So that's riding for my club in Poland, Lublin. Some good meetings there, and
GP though.
Yeah, a GP somewhere.
That looks like Lee Adams and Martin around. I'm not sure that is on the inside.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. It's on the inside. It's got to be.
I'm just trying to
it's hard to tell. Yeah.
Can't really tell the inside one.
No.
Not sure on that one, but.
there's one for the Twitter tomorrow, maybe.
yeah. That's nice. Look, when you get to parade the title round Oxford, is it?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, nice
very
welcome
nice.
back. Yeah,
very
nice celebration. Yeah, so
that's pretty much where you are, in it wasn't when
that is exactly where I am. Yeah, and that's the bike.
The
behind me.
bike.
So
Brilliant.
so
amazing.
Yeah.
There's the when it
that's an
first
old one.
started
Yeah,
out.
yeah. That's
79. It says 79.
My third year in England. Yeah, with the Bolt and getting some sponsors on there on the old Westlake. And as I say, it was still fun, although we didn't win a lot with the team. It was still fun there, and I think the crowd, looking from the back there as well, was quite a bit better at the time. So unfortunately, it faded a bit away over the years, but hopefully it was my fault.
Nice one there.
Yeah, no air fence at the back there. Yeah, must be an open with
no air fence.
With my own vest on. So that's got to be an open meeting somewhere.
I was just about to say that.
Wimbledon, maybe they had the wire fence. But
this is a prime example. Hans Nielsen at the start one. Love that one.
Yeah, it was obviously funny how sort of the styles has changed since then, and the uprights and the laydowns. The uprights weren't so they weren't so fierce at the start. It's grippy, so you had to sort of use your legs a bit sometimes to get the grip, and you had to adapt your styles to. But you're still obviously riding it on the clutch as we do these. They do these days as well, and. One of the first things I did when I first started out was, when we're on the 2 valves, the hours at first you had to really full throttle and also ride it on the clutch already then. So it's that's been one of the things that you have to have to be able to do to make good starts as well.
There's obviously the room filling up with all the trophies.
Yeah, just as we were moving, was that 5-6 years ago? We moved from the farmhouse to this house and. Unpacking and trying to fit them all into the cabinets there. Yeah, so still
bit of dusting to do there. Bit of dusting to do there, Hans.
Really, well, it was good of a June to clean them. Yeah, but that we were moving, but we still got the same nice cabinets. We actually had them made up to fit in our room in England when we lived in Northampton, and we take them back home. And it was actually my sponsor. That BN Leathers, who made my leathers, some of his family was carpenter and did them especially. So luckily we'll be able to just fit them in this room as well. So that's great.
Very nice. Maybe a potential final there.
It looks a bit like could it be maybe Pardubice? It looks a real big track, so could have been a pairs maybe.
Yeah, it looks like they're Polish tops, and then got a nice GP one there.
Yeah, lay down for a change. Yeah,
lay down.
Yeah, it's what's that hanger behind? Maybe
it looks like I think Joe Screen 19.
Could be. Could be. And
I'm not sure who's behind that though. It's a bit
I'm not sure when it is either.
No.
But at least I did do about 6 years on the laydowns as well. But you seem to forget them. Most of the old pictures you see is from the upright engines. For some reason or another. But it was a bit special moving from the uprights to the laydown. It was quite a.
What was that like? What was that like, Hans?
Well, it was a bit different in the way they were riding. At the beginning, they lost most of the button power, so you had to use the revs, and obviously they went pretty straight on, fast on the straights, but were actually quite difficult to handle in the corners on when there was really a lot of dirt. They were quite inconsistent, so it took a little while to get them going properly.
Okay, I got a nice program there with a farewell.
Yeah, that's good old design. Last farewell in England. Yeah, it's
that was the picture that I had up ready.
Yeah.
Showed us it live. That was really nice.
Yeah. So really nicely made
I
up, the
don't know if
bike.
you've ever seen these. It looks like someone makes all the figures now. I don't know if you've seen this.
He sent one to me, yeah. So I got one
Ah, did he? It's
one in the
really
cupboard
cool.
here as well. Yeah, really nicely
Yeah, all
made.
right. Really nice, isn't
Yeah,
it? Really
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
really
great.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, look, we're already getting into the spirit of things. Look, Hans.
yeah, good. Yeah,
I
that,
saw that
and
advertised. I thought I'd bring that out.
yeah, that's a nice book. Yeah, I got some really nice color photos in there from the Bling. So I was over there when he first had the book out, and got a good wheelie there in the middle as well. Yeah. So
Take you
it's
back here a bit. Take you back a bit, look, Hans.
oh yes. That's again. I think yeah. Does it say on there 79 must be? Yeah. So yeah, good old style, and a few things has happened there. Lost most of that hair there, man. Not to worry, not to worry.
I wonder if you was imagine if you'd have known that everything you were going to do as in a career from there.
If I was what? Sorry.
Imagine sat there now wondering what you were going to do in a career. Is that like a wig thing there as well? But it's a bit that you're going to put on. Is that a wig
Uh,
thing there in your lap?
yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
something I was giving at the parade about what it was. I
Uh,
can't really see that.
yeah.
I'll
So
remember,
no.
no, it's yeah, the fair thing has happened since with like I say, with the hair and the bike. Yeah, not even sure I got a plate in the back there, but it was, and the handlebars was quite a bit wider at the time, but.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So it would be difficult to squeeze around somebody outside near
Yeah.
the fence with those on.
They were
Yeah,
big there, aren't they?
yeah, certainly. Yeah. Very thoughtful, concentrating, I
Yeah.
think, before the
Yeah.
meeting. Yeah, just
Yeah.
thinking, am I going to outside, inside in that first corner, or what? But
Preparation. I do
yeah,
like this one as well. I like that one.
yeah. It's again, it looked like it could be Eastern Track, Loniga or somewhere. Was the sender back there? German maybe.
Yeah.
Some kind of championship.
Yeah. People always like their program boards and things. The Main Dane.
Yeah, oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah. Who actually mentioned the Main Dane thing first? Do you remember, or was it a journalist that give you that, or
I
don't know?
I'm not really sure whether it was whether they had it put on a car. Was it up in was it Glasgow or Berwick? Or
Okay, fair.
was it Berwick? We did. I was up doing individual meeting up there, and they had a car with Main Dane on the number plates.
Right.
Was that at Berwick or where was that? That's many years ago, but whether it was after that or it was before that, I'm not quite sure where that Main Dane came from. Maybe my wife can tell me.
Maybe
Dave Lanning was it?
She
Dave
remember.
Lanning, my wife,
Dave
just
Lanning.
tells me so.
Oh right, there
yeah,
we go.
yeah. Jane's probably been on the phone telling her. So
Yeah,
he's watching. So,
what about the professor? The professor nickname as well, Hans. Do you know where that come from?
That was from Poland. That was from Poland. Obviously when I came to Poland and obviously having coming over there as the reigning world champion after my title win in '89, I came over there, one of the first, if not the first foreigner in the '90 season to ride in Poland. I think I was riding for Oxford at the time, and I think with the universities and that in Oxford, lots of professors and stuff, and I was the best in the world at the time. So that put two and two together, and the professor from Oxford, so
get that now,
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't protest. That was very nice. Yeah.
Very nice. Got Daryl Notley off of YouTube. He's put, "Good evening, Hans and Lee. One of his favourite riders was also Brian Carger. I did see you ride one of his bikes in a World Team Cup meeting and told him it was running flat. Now Brian is obviously a top engine tuner."
Yeah, funny enough, I just spoke to Brian today, actually.
Did you?
That's another story. Yeah. So yeah, we keep in touch a bit. Yeah, he's a good tuner and got some good ideas, and he's been helping out, especially Markus Birkermoser this year, and made some really good bikes for him, and obviously a lot of others as well. But as far as that incident, I can't quite remember that, but he certainly found some power since.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favourites at Swindon as well, Brian. So hopefully he's going to come on as well. That'd be good. I've got Stuart Hare. He put, "Hi Hans. Do you remember about the race when you broke the track record at Oxford in October 88, I saw quite a few meetings there and never saw anyone get near it. 56.2, amazing.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was. As I said, I like the grippy tracks, but that day it was after rain. I think the day before, and it was really soft. And actually, it wasn't that meeting, but some other meeting. It was nearly. Well, it was even worse. And I remember that is the only meeting I can recall that it was gripped off. There was that much grip on it. They had to cancel the meeting. Nobody could turn the bike, maybe except me. I think I did go out and had a go, and it was okay. But it was just too dangerous. It wasn't quite as grippy there, but we did do the meeting, but it was great. Virtually like racing on or riding on rails, and obviously if you had enough power and you can turn the thing, it had to be fast, and I had both, so that was great.
Oh, interesting. I got Duncan Pemberton on Twitter. Hi guys, Hans. How annoyed was you when Pennell bounced you out of the way at Wembley in the first turn in 81?
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of times since, and obviously, as I say, world championship, you have to be hard to win races, and good luck to him. So, but obviously, a bit annoyed, like you are when you get shoved out of the way. But as I say, you do the same to others, and that's racing, and good luck to him. He did well. I mean, amazing winning those, 2 world titles in a row and retiring. That was quite a story, wasn't it? And,
it was quite a story to go off and do that, wasn't it?
So, well, we had some great races. We had the was it the silver helmet also after the meetings for a while in England then, and I remember we had a few good great races in those silver helmet things where I think he beat me a couple of times. I beat him a few times. So, but although fairly hard racer, he was still fair and vice versa. So it was great racing against him. Obviously, a great talent and very very organized as well. And with these Eddie Bull engines going quite fast at the time, it was quite a competitor.
I got Kevin Barnett here. I know he comes from Swindon. He's actually a football referee, so I think he's asking a referee type of question. I remember him. He's put, you're not saying you would have liked to ride for Swindon, which was obviously everyone's going to like. I'm a football ref, which I just mentioned. So obviously, what's your view of them now with your style of nudging the tapes quite often?
Well, it was obviously changed when we were nudging the tapes quite often, and I thought at the time I actually like when they changed the rules because it's a bit unresting for everybody before when you were sitting there, everybody was trying to get a flyer, and the one that was lucky to get a flyer would make the start quite often. But so to actually be able to, when they changed the rules, just to sit still and wait for the tapes to go up was really nice. You could just concentrate and try to, concentrate on the things you had to, and to make, the bike grip and the right kind of gas and everything, and still making good starts. And funny enough, it was still the same guys that made the start after that when they changed the rules, except, when Eric hit the tapes, as I say, every meeting.
Every meeting, once a meeting.
Unfortunately, he learned later that he shouldn't touch the tapes.
Had to work that out.
So it was good, but it's obviously been interpreted differently during the years. How much, can you move? Obviously, you're bound to move a little bit with, 15,000 revs at the start, and with the clutch sometimes dragging a little bit, and obviously one of the biggest problems I had as far as referee is concerned when coming, with the starts with Frank Epton, we had quite a few arguments. It was always just looking at me whether I was sitting still or not, and the other 3 guys could do whatever, but he was just looking at me, and if I just moved, he would be right on the phone. If you do it again, I'm going to exclude you. So that was a bit tough, I think. But I think it was certainly a lot fairer starts now. But I think it's gone a bit overboard the last few years now with just moving a little bit before the tape goes up, and you get a warning, and you can do it again, you're disqualified. And the time it takes, and the way that the referee can make mistake and actually stop the race and nobody's done anything, and you know it must be terrible for the
Strange.
rider to having made a great start, and then the bloody ref takes the win away from you. It's just as bad as if somebody has a little flyer. So if you had it my way, I think they should go back to what we had you know, a few years ago, where they could, you know, move a little bit, and if they did have a little flyer, as long as you don't touch the tapes, and not a problem, because as I say, it's just as unfair to the rider that makes a good start, not actually having made a flyer, as it is if somebody makes a little move and make a little flyer. So come on, give it free. Let us have some racing, you know, and let's not wait, you know, 15 minutes, half an hour sometimes for a meeting to, you know, continue because of all these problems. So, but there's different views, and obviously, but I think most people and supporters and riders would like to see it changed again to a bit more simple. But I certainly would.
Yeah, hopefully they listen to that, because I definitely agree with that one. Brendan Robertshaw's put, what do you think of the British youth coming through?
Well, I've followed over the last few years and see how much it's come on, and with all the, you know, you've got obviously all the divisions you have with the Premier League and Champions League and the National League and so on, and even the Conference League, and which is great to see, and obviously the great work that Team Britain are doing as well, we see internationally, and certainly a lot of young kids coming up and getting back on the stage, and maybe even come back to obviously I remember clearly when you lost the sort of primacy back in when we won the first World Team Cup back in '78 for the first time in Germany, and before that England was you know, winning most, but you know, and it's been going down a hill a bit, so you never know, they might come back soon, and certainly showing some signs, and great to see the young lads coming along, and we all, as I say, we all appreciated England very much, and the time we've been spent there, and would like to see success in England as well, and we're also, as a country, as long as you don't beat us too often, of course.
That's nice. I've got an interesting one here from Pino Speedway here. He's Patrick Pino. He's put, hi, Mr. Nielsen. I am Dutch, and I rode with you once in Amsterdam for the Golden Helmet. What I think is around that period is when you broke through in the International Speedway, and you made people notice that you was a new kid on the block. Best regards, Patrick Pino.
Yeah, I remember those golden helmets. That was before I really, as I say, broke through at the international level, and it was very sort of low level meetings. And it was like a golden helmet. It was like one at Feyenoord and one in Amsterdam. I remember them clearly, and did quite well in them. And actually, I remember one with, I'm not sure whether that was a golden helmet, but it was certainly a meeting in Holland when I was in England the first year in '77. Barry Briggs rang me up one day. I've been over here probably half season or something, and he rang me up and asked me to want to do an open meeting in Holland. And I'm, oh Christ, you know, Barry Briggs, world champion, rang me up. I was quite chuffed, and obviously asked me to travel with him over there, which was great. And
awesome. Yeah.
But obviously at the time I didn't know much about, you know, international stuff, and when we came over there, you know, I was asked about my international license and stuff, and I didn't have an international license. I just had a start permission to ride in England, so we've been in trouble there. But Breaker said, just give him the number of your telephone number as a license number, you'll be right. And so I did, and I rode the meeting. But luckily, I didn't do too well, so not too many knew about it. I think.
Yeah.
If the Danish Sport Federation had known about it, I might have got a ban or something. So, well, that was great. Good old Breaker.
Got a bit of an interesting question here. Someone's put, who is the most famous person in your phone contacts, sport or no sport, non-sport?
Well, if you ask my wife, she knows. Sure. That's probably the case, yeah.
Oh, that's very right. I got Paul Renault has put, what do you think of Exeter track? I personally love going there to watch, but I know some of the riders dreaded it. I guess it was pretty unique. What was your thoughts on the Exeter track? Hans?
So it's bloody scary, when I got there the first time.
No air fence.
No air fence. No, it was a metal fence up against a
Yes.
concrete wall. So it certainly didn't give, and I didn't like it at all, because in those years it was when I didn't like big tracks, and it was big, and not only was big, you had to ride near the fence, which was metal and concrete behind. So I didn't like it at all. I didn't do particularly well. I think I was only there a couple of times, but I certainly didn't like it.
Brian put on YouTube, Hans, you rode once at Birmingham Wheels Track and scored a maximum, so you had no problem with it. Were you tempted to have a season there after Perry Bar was demolished?
No, not really. No, it was no. I got onto the Oxford situation contract and was very happy. Never at that time, those 9 years, and I never thought of going anywhere else really till, as I say, when we got the trouble with the payment. So nope.
Got a Polish guy here, Lucas. He put hi Hans, Polish thread, the smiley face. How convince your motor Lublin? How do you pronounce that?
How did you convince?
Yeah, to sign a contract.
How did Motor Lublin convince you to sign the contract?
Yeah, that's it. Lublin to sign your contract. Have you had to worry to signing in Poland? You were one of the first foreign riders. How do you remember about Lublin and Pila? And why did you move to Pila? Is it Pila? Is that how you pronounce it?
Pila? Yeah, they actually pronounce Piła. The L is like pronounced W, so it's Piła.
Ah, right, okay, Pila.
Yeah. And Piwo, that's a deer, but that's another story. Yes, I had written some open meetings in Poznan previously to that year, and it was actually the promoter there, Kaczmarek, who was sort of well known in Poland, sort of had connections, and I think somehow the Lublin promotion and him must have known each other, and Lublin must have asked him, "Can you get in touch with Hans, because we would like to for him to come and ride." So that's really how it, And when he called me, Kaczmarek, it was I thought riding in Poland on a Sunday. I was, as I mentioned before, I was doing the long track fair bit as some grass track. And as I mentioned, it wasn't really my thing. I did it, it was okay, but it was, I would rather do Speedway if I could on a Sunday. So it was an easy choice for me. Yeah, I'd love to go to Poland. I've written there, obviously, a lot of other meetings, World Championships and qualifying and so on. And so it was an easy yes. Come and talk to them, and made a deal, and it was quite fun because obviously with Poland not having had any foreign riders in the league, it was big business and big story, and obviously when I did come over, it was huge, full stadium with 20,000 people or whatever, and probably about 200 journalists and television and following it from the airport all the way to the track, and
what was that like?
That was really big, and I remember comparing it to being a Beatle at the time.
Yeah.
So I felt really important there. So it's great. And had some good years there, and the only reason really I moved from there was the fact that when I retired from British Speedway and moved back to Denmark, Lublin is a long way if you got to drive over there from Denmark. And a bit awkward to fly from Denmark there at the time. So I thought I would like a club nearer to home, nearer to Denmark, and Piła was one of the closest ones. So that was quite obvious, and with them contacting me, wanting me there, that was perfect. And I had some good years there, and retired from there when I retired finally.
Phil Elkin has put, hey Hans, did you keep any of your race jackets or leathers over the years? And if so, did you have any favourite ones?
I kept them all, actually. I got them in the loft somewhere, yeah. So I got quite a collection, actually, with all the individual meetings, all the teams I rode for, and all the programs. All the meetings I did, I got all the programs. So yeah. Obviously, the world title ones are the ones that you remember most, but certainly also the tracks like Oxford and Coventry and Wolverhampton that I rode for I kept them, and from various years. So that's nice to look back on. It was obviously not so nice when we moved house 5-6 years ago. There was a lot of stuff to move, but
I was going to say, did that sort of bring back all the memories going through it? Bring back the memories going through it all?
It was in boxes at the time anyway.
Oh,
so
right,
I haven't
okay.
like,
a lot of work.
It'll take out all the walls in the house, I think, if I got to put them out. So
yeah.
I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with them, but I haven't made any plans yet.
Okay, interesting. Duncan Pemberton on YouTube's put, have you played Dave Jessup at golf? And if so, who won?
I have actually. Actually, my computer decided for some more power. I just have to get my lead in a moment. Just one
Okay,
sec.
no problem. Yeah, no problem, Hans. Thank you. Awesome, people. I am trying to keep up with your questions, people. I'm on questions from about 7 minutes past 8, and we're gone 9 o'clock. So that's how far we are behind on the questions. Hopefully, Hans is okay with the time. We've had nearly just under 2 hours, 1 minute away from 2 hours with an absolute legend. So it's been absolutely fantastic. Just having a quick look down your questions. Got been a lot of.
Sorry about that.
No problem, Hans. You all right?
How are you?
So yeah, you actually did play golf against Dave Jessup then. Someone's asked who won.
I think Dave did.
Did he?
He was a very good golfer at the time. Probably still is. I haven't met Dave for quite a few years now, but I'd love to have another game with him. But very good golfer. So.
He was another good starter, wasn't he? Very good out of the gate for an English.
He was, yeah. I've actually clearly remember that I wondered why, because I remember I was taking out his clutch, and it was so hard and tough. You can hardly pull it in, and you thought, how the hell can he drop it that quick? Because it didn't feel very good at all. But it was a very good trip. Yeah, definitely.
Seemed to work for him. Yeah, it seemed to work for him.
It did, yeah.
Someone's mentioned about Frank Ebden actually, saying that there's been a lot of talk on some podcasts recently about Frank Ebden, and they recall obviously he wasn't your favourite referee.
yeah. Is he still refereeing in England now? Do you know?
I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure. He retired.
He was refereeing the Grand Prix for a while, but got thrown out. Yeah. So
I'm not sure why.
Probably because of me. No, I don't know.
Give him a bit of a push in your hands.
Had some complaints, that's for sure.
Yeah. But to be fair, who is the fans of referees and speedway riders?
Well, that's true. It's not, I don't envy the job. They can't.
No, it's hard, but yeah,
can't win, can they?
No, they can't win. Rob Edwards put, there's no question. I just wanted to say you were my hero and favourite rider at Oxford, and I want to say thank you for the great memories. That's very nice.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Got Michael Howe. He's put, best wishes from Mike in Coventry. I framed your medals.
Yes, I've still got them upstairs on the wall. Yeah, thank you very much. Wow. The only problem was it wasn't big enough in the end, but not to where you couldn't have known, could you? Well, maybe you should have known, but I don't know. it was. I think I got there was only room for 40 medals in there, and at the time I probably only had, I don't know how many I had at the time, probably only 20 or whatever. But in the end, I had an extra. I think it's 6 extra. I think I got 46. It's all the FIM small medals you get every time you win a medal. FIM gold, silver, or bronze. Bronze. Yeah. And I think I got 46 of them. Yeah. So, that's obviously the individual team and pairs.
So, pairs as well. Yeah. That's nice.
So, but it was very nice. I still got it hanging on the wall, and it's really nice. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Nice. I got an interesting one here from Lynn Harvey. This is obviously Roger Harvey's here. He's team manager at Team Honda, and he obviously did motocross, a very good motocross rider in the British Championship. Just to say hello from the days when you used to practice with us and you were living in Brereton. Is that how you pronounce it? Brereton?
Yeah, it was near Rugeley. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Wandon Mews was a nice little house. The first house we bought back then. Yeah, my girlfriend and I. Yeah, and remember Roger. Yeah, we rode a bit together. It was a good guy. Yeah, it was used it a bit as fitness as well at the same time. Till I sort of thought it's probably just a little bit too risky, being a professional speeder riding, and
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
some are still doing it at the same time, but it is risky.
I had a
But
really
nice.
nice interview with Roger, so he was really good.
Yeah,
He manages Team Honda, and it's very good.
yeah. Okay, great. Is he still riding? Or?
No, he's basically the team manager of Team HRC, so
Yeah.
in the World
Okay, great.
Championship. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well.
yeah, nice to see you, Roger. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming on.
Thank you very much. Best wishes.
Next one I got Paul Hardcastle. Hi Hans, I talked to Don Godden on practice day for the 2-day World Final. What did you do to change the bike setup for the second day? As he told me you couldn't get the grip on the first day, which you did mention how didn't have a good.
Yeah, it was just small adjustments really with jets and ignitions and things like that. So it wasn't any big thing, but also just small different kind of thing you did on the track, and probably I can't quite remember the starting gates, but probably had some slightly better starting positions as well against the important competitors. So yeah, just small adjustments.
Someone put, hi Hans, do you prefer the one-off GPs or the way they are now?
Well, the one-off World Final, I was good, and it was obviously very exciting, and everything on the night, and it had special, but I certainly prefer the Grand Prix. And when we first talked about the Grand Prix, when the FIM was talking about it, as I mentioned, Jos Fasten and Gunther Sauber was the guys that was really pushing it, and I was the riders representative at the time. And those days we had there was a riders representative attending the FIM meetings, the CCP meetings, when everything was being discussed with regulations and so forth, and new ideas with competitions like the Grand Prix, and obviously I was for it for obvious reason, but I think most riders actually, obviously I talked to the other riders about it to get an opinion from most, and brought it forward, and certainly as far as I know that you're going to lose something, from the one-off World Finals, like I say, electric atmosphere and everything, but certainly, having then, as it was then at first, six rounds throughout the year would certainly be better for everyone. You would have, as we know now, that more television coverage and certainly more fair to the world champion from a Grand Prix. He's the best guy over the season, and obviously I could see an advantage for myself as well. Obviously being pretty solid, most of the year. So that certainly helped me also to win that, that first year in '95 when we had the first Grand Prix. And I think obviously now looking back, it's obvious, it's great. The excitement, people talk. You have once every fortnight mostly, and on television, and it's great. And obviously when you look at places like Cardiff and Warsaw, it's with that amount of people, not just the one night, but on different tracks, it's great, and all the different countries get to, or most of them in Europe, has a home track where they can go and watch the Grand Prix as well. So even more people will watch it, and of course on television as well, and bigger sponsors, lots of money. The FIM get a lot of money for the rights when they sell it to first the IMG BSI and now the Discovery Channel from 22. So it's obviously a money maker as well for the FIM. So all the way around, it's got to be good.
What was your memories of the atmosphere at Wembley? Because obviously I never got to. Too young for there. I was born in '77. I didn't get to go there. But what was the atmosphere like in the Wembley? It must have been amazing.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. Was it about 90,000 people or something?
Yeah.
And what the most amazing was obviously on the parade when you came out. Yeah. All the horns started to blow and everything. It really got the people going.
I bet. Yeah.
And just Wembley history and changing rooms, the way we had all the big bars and stuff, and it was quite incredible. So really nice and a great meeting to be in, but obviously not so happy memories as far as the results concerned. I would say that was 10 years. I was writing, what was I writing at the time? The Garden for the first time, where, it proved that, we had a few problems with ignition and stuff on the night, but so, and I was still probably not quite as used to the big tracks as like Wembley that I should have done, and but it was certainly great to have been a part of, and when we're talking about the atmosphere of one of the World Finals, obviously this was it.
Yeah, amazing. I've seen the DVD and everything, but it looked amazing.
Yeah, certainly.
I've got Helen Oakley. She's put, hi Hans. We were in Munich in '89 for the World Final. Fantastic result for Oxford and very happy memories.
Yeah, same ways. Yeah, thanks.
Definitely.
It was obviously again, it was one nice big stadium in the Olympic Stadium in Munich, but unfortunately the track was not well. It was good and smooth, but the racing was not so good. But luckily, I managed to make some good starts again and got a max there, so that was great.
Perfect. On YouTube, someone's put, Hans, you always stayed loyal to the black leathers. Was there a reason for this? You would have looked great in white or multicolored, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just like the not so much the black, but the constellation. Black, red, and white was sort of my main colors that I like to be in. So it was easier to keep clean as well than the white leathers as well, I suppose. But it wasn't so much. It was just the fact that I like those colors. Yeah.
I've got Duncan Pemberton. He's put, Hans, do you follow Upright Speedway on Twitter? And if not, why not? Join us oldies on there.
I do actually, yeah. I've got it on. Yeah, so lots of old stories and nice pictures on there. Yeah. So,
very good.
Thanks for that.
There you go, Duncan. Hans is actually on there. So
happy now.
Happy now. Jason Colethorpe. He's put, who was the best promoter you rode for and why? It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think it got to be Oxford again. It was obviously mainly whether you call it promoter or managers or whatever, but Payne and Crabber was a couple of really great guys. Remember clearly when we first met, they came to visit me where we lived and talked about the possibility of me coming to Oxford and having a nice big checkbook with them as well helped. And but certainly it was we had some great times there. Always ready, especially Crabber with a laugh and Penny, the organization guy and organizing guy, and the Hawkins being the owner was quite involved as well. So it was good. Like one big family kind of thing, and we were really had some great times there and some good parties and get-togethers as well.
Colin Price has put, Hans, any funny stories about the legendary Bernard Crapper?
Oh well, he was always funny. So he was if somebody crashed on the track and stuff, he was always there, just making sure the thing in between with the leg was okay, and then he was happy. That was his funny story.
Right, I've got Ian Berry. But hello, Hans. I was in Wolverhampton the day you made your debut so many years ago. I am English and from local Bilston, close to Wolverhampton. We were regulars at the Wolves. And interesting, I met a Danish woman that moved to Denmark and still living there. Just a coincidence. Take care.
All right. Okay. Small world.
It is a small world. Ben Piggin put, who was the ref you got on with and respected the most in UK Speedway?
I think it was probably Graham Brody. He was the international referee as well and did a lot of the World Championship and things. And I think he was very fair and sensible and very friendly and a nice guy and has been involved for many years and done a great job within, I think, also the FIM and but there was a few good guys. Graham Reeves was a really good referee and
Remember him.
Yeah, so they weren't all bad like the one we know, but Mr. Ipton. I got on pretty well with most referees. Really, we didn't have many, that many big problems. And if obviously I got excluded now and then as well, but sometimes it was probably deserved, and we could still discuss it after with most referees. But I'd say Ipton was just a bit too much.
Richard Blakemore put, "Hi Lee and Hans. Which English rider was your favourite racer to watch and race against?"
Well, I think we obviously mentioned that before. I think certainly Peter Collins and Chris Morton, they were really great racers, and as I say, great respect for them on the track. You never knew whether you want to race until you finish the line, even though, as I say, I made the starts most of the time, but that wasn't a certainty that you won the race because of it. So
Callum Marshall put, "Ask Hans if he remembers Andy Graham." I'm pretty sure he remembers Andy Graham.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we had some good times both in Birmingham and Oxford, and great team guy as well. When we were talking about team racing, we had some around Birmingham. That was a bit of a tight track, but we had some really good team wins, pair wins, and great understanding for each other. And he was actually an okay trapper, and so we got out in front together. Nobody was going to get past us. So. And very, very nice guy, and obviously his brother as well. And I know Lauren didn't ride with him, but
Alan,
nice coloured caps.
Definitely. Obviously, you won the World Team Cup with Denmark an unreal 11 times. Is that right?
Yep.
What did that actually mean to you in your sort of memories of that?
Well, like the individual, obviously the first one was the most important, the breakthrough. And after that, it that was like us old guard, with obviously with Ole and Finn Thompson, Christian Pressbro, and Michael Lohmann. So quite soon after that, we also obviously had the likes of Eric and Tommy and Bo Peterson and Jano Peterson getting up there, and we got quite almost unbeatable for a few years.
Definitely. Yeah.
So. Yeah, the first one was obviously the most fun one, and then obviously after that it was obviously a matter of still being on top and winning as many as possible and collecting things. But that I have to admit that the less important they became also when you start winning individual titles. That obviously also became the priority, and amongst all that we had the pairs as well. So there was lots of world championships and which was great fun, and again we got to spend a lot of time together on and off the track, and got on quite well. So it was some great years, and obviously more fun when you win titles than not. So it was a good era, and when you look back and when you look to the future, it's hard to see anybody, I think, win that much again. Although I know Poland are doing well, but still.
So obviously you had so much success as well, obviously with the pairs championship as well. I think that was like seven titles.
Exactly, yeah, and with
very dominant.
With different partners, and so yeah, and could have maybe had one more if it wasn't for also being the team manager when he let Tommy in instead with Eric. But not to worry, I didn't worry so much about it at the time, but it's again proved that we were certainly the top nation, being able to win with different constellations. So that's great.
Did you used to have any superstitions when you raced, Hans, at all?
Nope.
None at all?
None at all.
That's amazing. There's a lot of the guys have some seriously weird superstitions.
Certainly have. Yeah, must be a little tiring, you would think.
Tiring, mentally as well.
Yeah, so I tried to use the energy otherwise.
What was the actual decision that made you retire in the end from professional speedway, Hans, at the time? What was the...
Well, at the time, I think in those days, it was sort of known that to be when you were 40,
What did you think of Greg Hancock going on for so long into like 46, 47, being competitive?
That was amazing. I mean, I think he amazed us all the time, and winning world titles still after 40 was quite amazing. And obviously, he's made of something special as far as that concerned, being able to have a big family at the same time, and still being a dead serious racer and winning titles. He must be made of something special. So I really respect him a lot for that, and obviously a shame that he had to retire the way he did with his wife being ill. It would have been fun to see him race in his 50s as well, which he might have done. You never know. But so he was always a great racer, and I remember when he won the first one in 97, I remember thinking he must be the least hard rider, or the most gentlemanish rider on the track to win a world title probably ever, because he was never really the hard guy at all. Whereas actually, I think he became harder in the latter years, and when he won the titles towards the end, he was actually becoming pretty hard and tough. But certainly a great guy and a great rider and great achievements.
Because it was quite ruthless then, wasn't it, Hans? I remember Greg, like you said, 97, and I remember him being the world champion. It was 98, I think, when they brought in that system, where you could, if you finished third or last or something after 2 rides, you would go home and stuff. I remember Greg did as world champion, and it was like, wow.
Yeah, it was really crazy. Horrible. I don't think anybody liked that system. And luckily, they've got sensible and changed it again. But obviously you got to try things before you to try and improve things. But I think that was a mistake, that one.
Yeah, definitely. You've won a lot, obviously, a massive amount as a team rider and as an individual rider. Did you prefer to ride as an individual, or did you prefer being part of a team and that type of thing, or did you ride both?
Well, it was two totally different things. I mean, when you are riding individually, obviously you're just yourself, and you just concentrate on your own thing. And when you're in a team, obviously you've got to try and win as a team and help you. I was captain most of the years. Was his second or maybe third year in Wolverhampton. I became captain and was captain for the teams from then on that I rode for. And so obviously it was my duty, my job to try and help my team to win, and obviously on the track helping the guys that I was riding with, and with me being a pretty good start, I could control the race a little bit and try and help the guys if they were, with me in the starts a little bit sometimes, which they were, luckily. So, and I certainly enjoyed that part of it. I thought that was quite fun to be able to help you, your pair rider, and that way, hopefully winning on the night, because obviously it's more fun to win with the team as well than lose. And it's all about winning. And I think having not a lot of success from my first, with Wolverhampton and Birmingham, it got even more important when I came to Oxford to win with the team and to do that. Obviously you've got to help your teammates. So, but also obviously I try to help at Wolverhampton and Birmingham as well. But and it was good practice to do that, and it was good fun, and it was obviously it didn't matter whether you got first over the line or whether you're second with your teammate, you still got paid the same. So financially it didn't matter, and I obviously knew as well all the time that the public love to see team racing, and you want to do the best entertainment you can when it's all about entertainment as well, like we were talking about the wheelies and stuff, and so I think also today obviously the supporters love to see some team riding, and I think probably you're still doing it a fair bit in England. Unfortunately, I think when you see the big Polish league, extra league and stuff, it's becoming a bit fierce, and the riders are on a lot of pressure to perform, and so I think they forget a little bit about the team riding sometimes, which is a shame. But that's how it is.
Yeah. Sue Rutherford's put, do you recall the night at Oxford versus Paul where there was a mass brawl near the pits?
Who's fighting?
I don't know. Is that
I remember there was something. I'm just trying to think. Just remind me who's fighting. Does she tell that?
She hasn't said that. She just put, did you recall it? It was at Oxford v Paul, which had a massive brawl near the pits. I don't know if that was the crowd or the riders or.
I remember there was something, but I can't remember who it was and why. So maybe she can call up again.
She might come back with that. Simon Corbett put, was there a building out of Oxford, Nielsen House, named after you?
There was a Nielsen House, and I wondered sometimes when I went by, what is it? But I think it was some chemical stuff. It's that got nothing to do with me, unfortunately.
All right, okay then. Oh, my mum's actually come on and put, I've got loads of good Bernard Crapper stories.
All right, okay, bring them on. Bring them on.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Also, someone's put, Stephen Zetterwall. I'm going to try and pronounce this Swedish team. I remember you back in Eskilstuna, is it?
Yeah.
Old stadium in 1978 when you was on the podium with Finn Jensen and Eric Gunderson in the European Under-21 Championship. You was impressed already at that time.
Yeah, that was back when we were on on the 2 valves still. Although we were riding the 4 valves but when we did the junior or on the 21s or whatever it was called, we had to use the 2 valves for a couple of years then, and it was a bit of a nuisance because you were riding the 4 valves, but you had to go and borrow or buy a 2 valve to be able to ride in the under 21s, which was a nuisance. But it's the old Eskilstuna was, I remember it well. It was a kind of a very big track and a nice stadium actually. But obviously now it's probably even nicer. So thanks.
A couple of nice comments. Spot on, Hans. 2 great and lovely man. Superb interview with a superb rider. Nice one, Lee. Jason Colthorpe's put, when you first came to England, what did you think of the food and the England sense of humour?
Well, I didn't understand the language that much at the time, but so the humour, I certainly didn't understand the local lingo in Wolverhampton and Birmingham. But the food was quite nice. I loved the fish and chips actually on the old newspaper. And you get the food, good steaks and stuff. Yeah, so it was quite all right, and the beans on toast and what have you. Yeah, it was,
I thought that was just me. I thought that was just me, Hans.
Yeah, no, actually I didn't like that.
Toast. But cheese on toast.
Cheese was okay. Yeah, and corned beef. I remember
corned beef
and sandwich. Yeah. So it's okay. I had no problem with the food.
That's brilliant. Right, I got Miles Sharman. Hi, Hans. Firstly, thank you for entertaining us over the years. Can I ask you if you had any regrets in Speedway? Sort of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think we've talked about some of the regrets as far as the engine
changing.
and trying, could have tried more to maybe get to a bigger track early on in my career. That would have probably helped my international career early on. But obviously, I was quite upset and disappointed when I had to leave Oxford. Not have to, but I was put in this situation where I felt I had to leave after 9 years. Obviously, I would have loved to have had the testimonial there and celebrated 10 years with the great spectators there and promotion. But otherwise, I've had a great career. I've been enjoying every bit of it. So I can't really say that I got many regrets at all.
I've seen a couple of guys mention this about what was the reaction like? Obviously, at the time, it was tragic with the crash with Eric in the first corner at Bradford. It was obviously awful. What your memories of that?
Yeah, it's obviously very clear. It was a terrible accident in the first race with Eric making the start from the outside and just locking up a little bit in the middle of the corner and being hit from behind, and all four riders crashed, and Eric got hit by a bike and was on the track, just lying there, couldn't move, and swallowed the tongue. And when I came down, he was obviously the doctor luckily was there and got the tongue out, but obviously you could see there with Eric's eyes being wide open, but no reaction, and so we knew it was very serious, and the rest of the boys, and although we knew we had to continue, obviously there wasn't really much spirit or anything like that, and obviously with the points they would have scored as well, Eric we knew that was going to be tough to win it, and we didn't really care that much about it because we did have some report from the hospital and that it looked pretty bleak and bad. So that was a horrible experience.
Must have been very hard to carry on.
Yeah, it was obviously worse for Eric, but also the after effects from obviously mostly following his recovery after was tough, and for us to continue to race the following weeks was a bit tough. We were just having to sort of ride on automatic pilot, not really feel like riding for a few weeks till, but after we knew he was gonna recover, and he got up and his feet and stuff, things were better. But it was certainly a horrific crash and a horrific thing to happen, and as I say, that's where I feel that I've been very fortunate over the years that I haven't had any serious accidents like that. And when you look at all the blokes that has had bad accidents like that, that is one of the bad things about the sport, and most sports, especially motorsports, that is the danger that you and the risk you have to take and live with.
Duncan Pemberton's put on YouTube, Hans, taking you out of the loop, who is your favourite Danish rider for Speedway talent, not friendship?
What, at the moment? Young ones, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that's what you're saying.
Well, I don't have sort of any favourites. I mean, we've got lots of good guys, and it's a difficult, obviously, even if I did, it's difficult for me to say as a coach. There was in the old days, there was one that did, and it got him into trouble. But it's good to know that, and good to see that we've got lots of young kids showing lots of talent, and so many of them has a chance to really become good riders, world champion, if they have the kind of determination and luck as we had. Most of them got the ability to ride a bike really, really well, and from there on, it's down to all these things to whether they become world champions or not.
Is there any young guys in Denmark that we might not have heard about that we can look out for? Is there any guys?
Well, most of the guys that are attending the on the 19, on the 21s and so on. Yeah. So I won't sort of mention one or two here before others, because there's lots of them, and so but certainly it's looking promising, and for the many years to come, I'm sure we're going to be up there with a chance to win world titles both Speedway of Nation or whatever they're going to call it in the future. Hopefully, maybe World Team Cup again, come
that'd be nice.
22 maybe. But time will tell.
Keep it
I think
simple.
I think we all miss that old traditional World Team Cup thing with 5 riders in. So hopefully we can get it back sometime.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm definitely miss that. That Sue did come back. She put it was the riders and the mechanics apparently.
Oh, it was the fight at Oxford.
Yeah,
all right,
Oxford
okay.
and Paul, don't know.
Yeah, but what were they fighting for? Must have been an incident on the track. What it was, I can't quite remember. Been a few of them as well.
Probably best not one.
yeah.
I've got a motocross ex-professional motocross rider, David Campbell, Scottish rider. He's actually put, Lee, can you ask Hans what is his thoughts on the ice racing? He said, them spikes put me right off. You have to be nuts to do this. Did you ever have a go at that, Hans?
Not the prop ice racing, like with the big spikes. I did the Telford one for quite most of the years when I was riding, and obviously with Thomas and Graham Drury doing a great show there every year, and quite enjoyed it actually. It wasn't very fast, but you could get hurt with those screws, although they're only maybe I don't know what half an inch the most, but. Even so, you could get hurt. There was quite a risk, but as I said, it wasn't all that fast. But it was quite fun. It was a totally different kind of racing and technique you needed because at the start there was just no grip whatsoever. Once the wheel had turned around once or slipped, you would have a groove in the ice, so you would just sit, be still left at the tape. So that the trick was to detune the engine that much that it could hardly pull you, and start in idle almost. So you got that. And so I got the hang of that pretty well after a while, and won quite a few of them. So it's quite enjoyable, and it was a bit of a show really for the full house almost every time. I think a couple of thousand. And
didn't they do a couple of concrete ones as well, Hans? Wasn't there like a couple of concrete ones or something?
Yes, we did. I think was it then IC Birmingham we did once. One in London.
What was that like?
It was scary. It was when you had the concrete, it was okay. The first when you practiced in that, it was fairly slick.
Yeah.
But as soon as it got hot, when you got rubber on the concrete, it got really really grippy. So you really had to keep the gas on to keep the wheel spinning. But if you had to turn it off for some reason or another, if you got close to someone, it would just take off and grip. So it was. Didn't enjoy that much, but it was at least the track was very small indoor, and so it wasn't so fast. So in that respect, it wasn't so dangerous, but it was very tricky but it was a bit of fun at the same time and a bit of money at the same time. So, but we only did it for a few years, and it wasn't really that successful. So, but there was also we did. In Germany, we did some indoor meetings on really really small tracks, but with dirt. And there was like in a riding hall where they had they put some dirt on. We did a few of them. That was a bit more fun, and that was on more normal tracks, on normal tires. Although they did ride on a road tire some of the meetings, so you didn't have so much grip, and that worked okay actually. So a few in Germany, I remember Ole Müller did them as well, and we had some good races on there, Karl Mayer and so on, and so that was okay.
Interesting entertainment, I would imagine. A few silly little offs and stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen some of the coverage. Paul Allen put, Tony Ricardson tried the car racing. Is there any other motorsport you would have liked to have tried?
Before my Speedway career, I was more like a motocrosser, really. I was riding just old bikes and motorbikes in old pit yard and where you got sand and jumps and stuff. And so before I even knew about the Speedway, I was riding that. And when I did come to England and ride the Speedway, when I came back the following winter after '77, I actually bought a proper motorbike, motocross bike, a Yamaha 125, and did some tournaments in our local tracks, and quite enjoyed it. But when I then, obviously, Speedway became more and more serious, and that was like my living. So I thought after that, I better not. This is too dangerous, the motocross, just for fun. So I stopped it. But I love that. I love the motocross. But I haven't done it since. And in one way, I would have liked to have done it, but but other sports, obviously, like it's a golf, but no engine on that, and windsurfing I did for a few years before I started the golf, but
you like that?
no other like trials. I did a little bit of trials as well before I started the Speedway, sort of, but
quite technical. Yeah.
It's very technical, and balance and things. So it's pretty good fun, but. No, otherwise than that, no cars, no road bikes or anything. I've actually never. Well, I did ride a road bike my first year in England because I didn't have a driver's license. So I had just a 125 Yamaha road bike I could do on a provisional license, just driving those 20 minutes from Cheslin Hay to Wolverhampton, and so that was okay just to get me there when I couldn't.
Imagine pulling up next to Hans Nielsen at the lights.
Yeah. So Actually, I couldn't get in the stadium one. I didn't know it was me, so I couldn't get in the stadium. I didn't have a ticket, but at the Wolverhampton when I turned up on the bike, but I convinced them in there, and I did get in. So luckily.
Someone's mentioned that in the indoors, someone remembers that Jan Anderson used to use hairspray on his rear tire for traction.
Yeah, it's they banned it, eventually because obviously it got even harder to turn it, but he obviously got the advantage at the start, So, and it was tried outdoor as well, wasn't it? At one stage, till they also banned it on the normal tracks. Obviously, helped as well on the outside track. I think Yano started using it first, and then a few guys started using it. It got banned.
Yeah, I heard about that. I remember that.
Yeah. So obviously that's where you had the stricter rule where in the Grand Prix where you had to have the tires in compounds before the meeting, so nobody could tamper with the tire. So and they still do that.
I've been sent this through on the phone. Phil Elkin has put a picture of Hans guesting for us at Stoke in 1988 against Bellevue. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was probably the only time I rode at Stoke. Yeah, so to say I've been around most of the tracks in England.
Someone's also said, Hans, that Stuart and Adele Baker that we talked about earlier. They put Lee, the small brawl, I am sure, was Bernard Crapper and Neil Middleditch. I'm sure Neil swung a punch at Bernard. There was a lot going on, only lasted a few seconds.
All right, yeah, I can believe that, yeah. Neil was getting into it as well, yeah. So
it's got a bit of fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Miles Sharman put, can you ask Hans, 1986? I don't want to pronounce that. I do remember it, but I don't know. I can't remember how they pronounced it. Is it Katowice?
Yeah, Katowice.
Yeah, Katowice, that's it. I knew it was pronounced, not how is it spelled. Did you cause Tommy to crash?
No, of course not. No, how can we ask them? It's we have talked about it earlier tonight, and it is one of them things. If I try to explain what happened, obviously Tommy made the start on me and was going fast into the third corner and went very wide. And what do? I obviously have to go inside, try to pass him, and I sort of did, and obviously tried to move out a little bit to make sure, I kind of stop him. But at the same time, I think he thought, hey, Hans come on the inside, I have to turn back. So we kind of met, we got with me going a little out and with him going a little bit in. So, somebody have to give. And I remember I think I actually punched my rear tire because it hit his front spindle for the rear wheel. So I had almost past him, but not quite. So obviously, and in the old days, especially if you were in front of somebody, you were in the right. You can go where you wanted to. Where these days now, you bit more. The referee is not quite sure, which I think is another problem. Sometimes it creates a bit of a misunderstanding because. If the guy is, taking somebody out towards the fence, and the guy behind take a chance to try and get past, and he crashes, the referee is not quite sure. Well, do I disqualify the guy that's taking him out, or do I disqualify the guy that should have shut off? Maybe, and there's no really a ruling stating in the rule book what should you do. You got a rule that says you can be disqualified for dangerous riding, but what is dangerous riding, and I've actually suggested a couple of years ago that they should clarify the rules a little bit more because it does create misunderstandings and very unclear for the riders what is right and what is wrong. But as I say, in old days, right was if you're in front, you could virtually do what you like. So no, I didn't. I wouldn't say it was totally my fault. It was 50-50.
50-50, that's 50,
yeah.
that's fine.
No.
Someone put, what was the worst track to ride in the UK, Hans? I presume preparation.
We talked about Exeter. Well, that was certainly one of them. I think Halifax was a similar one with
Halifax.
a concrete fence, and I never really liked that one either. Again, a big track, and you had to go wide really to go fast, and I didn't like that in my earlier days to go that wide either, because as I said, I was used to turn quite hard into the corners, and that sort of stops on a big track. So it took me a little while to learn that. But apart from those two, I don't really have had any big problems with other tracks. I don't think. No.
I got Gary Yeadon. He put, Hans, great interview. How much did you spend time testing the Godden, and what drew you to the machinery? Did you spend a lot of time testing the engine?
Not really. No. I think I don't even think I practiced on it before that meeting. I used it at Wimbledon. I think I just took it on, put it in the bike, and. But obviously, after that, we would have tested a fair bit, especially in Denmark, where there's, in England, there was always a problem getting on a track testing anyway, because they only wanted to open the track for the meetings. But yeah, in all my career, we've done lots of testing, and certainly we did with the Godden as well. And as I say, with help with my mechanic, especially Fleming, my tuner at the time, we did a lot of experimenting and. As you do with equipment like everybody else. Although these days I think it's more the tuners. The riders go to so all different tuners, and so it's more the tuner that sort of experiment. Whereas in those days it was certainly from my point of view, I was having a lot of say with my private tuner and those ideas that he had and I had. We worked together and found some good engines.
I've got Stephen Zetterwalls mentioned that you had the spoiler on the front wheel that time, Hans.
Yes, it was. I think we only used for a year or two the most. And the trouble was, Tommy also used it in one of the meetings in Ratrow, and I think it was one of the Grand Prix, and he actually crashed because he got the spray from the guy in front on the front wheel, and he crashed, and after that they banned them. So, but it was really more for show, and you had an extra spot for your sponsors and stuff.
I was just about to say, was that what for? Yeah, I was about to say.
It didn't really make much difference. Yeah, so I think it was sensible enough to ban them really. And then when we realized that it could happen that you crash if you got sprayed.
Was there any riders that you didn't really enjoy racing with, Hans? Was there any guys that you didn't really get on with too well on the track? Rather not.
Well, I think old Kenny Carter was a bit strange sometimes.
It's a bit sketchy, Yeah.
Yeah, it was
unpredictable. Maybe
it was on and off the track. Yeah. So, but other than that, you had Phil Crump was not that he was difficult in any way. I think we just had some great races together, really tough races, and I just remember you probably seen them as well or heard about them, and from Swindon. Mm-hmm. That we had some great races there. I enjoyed the track, as I mentioned before, very much, and him being a great rider and me being a good rider, we had some tough races and really good ones, close ones. So, but so that was all the way around. I actually quite enjoyed racing against him. Yeah.
I got Duncan Pemberton. He put, it was my idea to approach Hans to ride for Stoke. My friend was the co-promoter, Paul Gray. I suggested to even teams up and ask Hans, and you rode for a very modest fee.
Always through my career, very modest. No, you might have heard other things, but I think as a rider, most of the time when you knew that promoters were, or you thought they were making a profit out of your performance, you obviously tried to get as much financial reward out of it as well, because obviously you kind of knew that professional speedway rider, you don't know exactly how long you got as a speedway rider, and obviously you've got to make the most out of it while you can. But on the other hand, I felt that I've been okay with when you see that it's being a test matches like this, which goes quite often to a good course, and for promoters that are struggling or whatever, try to be reasonable. Yeah.
Did you follow the British League much now, Hans? And obviously, did you obviously notice that Nicky Pedersen was going to be coming back this year? Jason Crump, what was your thoughts of that?
Yes, of course, I follow it, and I get the Speedway Star every week, thanks to Rising and Speedway Star as well. Yeah, and that's one of the few advantages of being a world champion. You get a bit of help there, so I follow it very much. So unfortunately, get you about a week later in the post, but still read it and follow the league, and obviously see that Nicky was going to ride for Sheffield, which was a great thing. Unfortunately, he didn't because of the corona, but and now he might not because of the Polish promoters, which is one of the bad things that comes out of it, and that you're going to miss that. So that's a shame. I think Nicky could be great for British Speedway. I think it was a bit of a surprise that he was going to ride over there this stage of his career, but whatever the reason, I think it would be great for Sheffield and British Speedway. We all know that he can cause a few good newspaper stories and stuff. So so that that's got to be good for British Speedway. Yeah.
What did you think about the Jason Crump coming out of retirement after all that time to come back to British Speedway Ipswich?
Yeah, that was certainly a big surprise. But why not? If he feels for it, and if it coincides with his son doing the road racing in Europe, it's great. And I see he did well in the British final. So it'll be interesting to follow him, see what he can do if he comes back next year, which he said he is going to do. So and let's hope that Corona's out of the way, so we can see what he can do. Now he's certainly brave to come back that many years. What was it, 7 years after his retirement?
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
It is.
7, 8 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's very brave, but it'll be interesting to follow him. Yeah, so good luck with that.
Do they keep you in? I don't know if you've had anything to do. Has anyone's obviously the saving the Oxford Stadium and the Speedway of everything? Has anyone ever contacted you about that or anything like that?
Yeah. Keep in contact, and obviously following it very closely, and it's very exciting if they succeed. And it looked like they're very close. So certainly wish them luck and hope for the best, and certainly hope to come out and visit when it's a possibility that they might ride again.
Because there's obviously been so many tracks that have closed since you've left the British League. Even Coventry, they're trying to get back again, I know, and Reading.
Yeah, very sad. With Coventry as well, obviously, and Reading. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's happening with Reading. Is the track still there? I haven't heard, but
no, it's completely gone. It's gone. Stadiums there,
yeah, and you have obviously some of the old tracks like White City and Wimbledon and Bradford, and I see Bradford. There's some talk they might come back, but. So let's hope. Wish them good luck, and but at least it's good to see the council helping out at Oxford and supporting it. Yeah, so let's hope the best.
What about Bradford? Because that was a nice track. Did you actually enjoy that track? It had some banking, didn't it? And
I didn't particularly like it. No, I never really felt at home there for some reason or another. I rode it okay, but it wasn't one of my favorite ones. But it was certainly a different track with the banking, and it was so much banking that you could hardly idle through the corner. When you finish a race and you're just going slow, there was that much banking that the footrest was hitting the ground. So that was very special.
Like almost keep going.
Yeah, but the dirt on there was a little bit different to most of the others. It was very stony and really hurt you when you got behind and stop you sometimes. But it was an okay track, and when it was good for the spectators, the way it was designed and looking down on the track, probably must be a good view for the spectators, I would think.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you said that Eric has a lot to do with obviously the youth side of Denmark. If you had to obviously, there's a lot of guys that would be interested in being a pro speedway rider. What sort of advice would you give them? There's a lot to take in lot to think about.
Yeah, it is, and obviously there's a lot of debate, these days. How do you attract new riders first of all, and obviously the more riders you can attract, the more the bigger interest in Speedway, the more chance it is that you're going to have some riders that will progress and hopefully become professional riders and maybe world champions one day. So that's important. But it's I think, talking about British Speedway, and we mentioned it before, it's a good learning ground, and to both, for various reasons. Also, as I say, we've always been really welcomed from both the supporters and the promoters in England, and the families that you can go and stay with. Quite often there are lots of families that take a rider in and look after them, and to actually come over and see another country and meet other people, it makes you grow up a little bit if you come over there as a young 17 or 18-year-old. And as I say, concentrating about just riding a lot of meetings, especially the last few years where you've been able to double up, has been obviously even greater for younger riders. As I say, if you're not quite good enough to get straight into a Polish league or a Swedish league, and in Denmark, obviously there's not that many meetings, then it's a great thing to go to England. That's certainly one of the things that we do advise some of the young guys to do. But otherwise, it's all about obviously being serious about your stuff. If you want to be successful in anything, whether it's Speedway or other sports, or any job, you got to be ambitious and work hard and serious, being fit, and make sure you try and get the best bike you can, best engines and so forth. And what we try and teach them as well when they first, I sort of get them after Eric's had them from the 85. I get them when they move up on the 500cc, and certainly when they move up on the 5cc, it's a different game. Certainly a lot more dangerous and more risk. And the most important thing for me is that they learn the proper, obviously, style, right, racing style, and be careful that the first few months of their career on a 500cc is more about learning to ride the right line, sit sit properly on the bike, and be safe, and not win races because they're brave, but win races because you know how to ride a bike. We obviously see enough accidents, so it's important, especially the first year, to learn the trade before you become too brave.
It's a great way of bringing them through on these 85s. I think they did some demonstration races once at Swindon. I think it was Eric that come with them actually, and it was really good.
Yeah, and the good thing obviously is that we got the tracks, special built tracks on about 200 meter tracks that's just right for the 85cc. So you can still get a skid on and ride it almost like a big bike on the big track. So and learn to skid and broadside and the different lines on the track and everything. So as we talked about earlier, that's certainly helped us throughout the years to produce good riders. And I suppose that's where England has. You used to have the grass track, didn't you? With I think the kids used to start out on the grass track first and learn the trade there, and then move on to Speedway. And now I suppose they go more straight into the Speedway. And as I say, got a good training plan over there now, and with also Neil doing a good job, Voucher, with all the young kids, and actually has a plan. And when you still look at places like Eastbourne, they have a small track there, and Martin's still helping out. Martin Dugat still helping out with some of the kids. It's great to see. So yeah, still lots of races and being done in England, and hopefully that it'll be come back to the good old days maybe sometime with a few more spectators and more television and stuff, and eventually. So good luck.
Yeah, a lot of the guys come through in England for grass track. I think Mark Larams, Joe Screens, all them sort of guys did that. Did in Denmark, was it not much of a thing, grass track at all in Denmark?
No, nothing at all. It's we've got one kind of long track that's sort of opened up against the last couple of years, and Eric's actually taking care of that side as well. He loved the long track and looking after some of the guys like Kenneth Hansen, who's in the Grand Prix this year, and he's wanting to do well there, and Eric helping out with those guys, and so maybe we can get back on the world map there. But it's never really been a big sport in Denmark. We had the Esbjerg, where you had the big track, and that was about the only permanent track we've had in the old days as well. But there was sort of various one-off tracks, like in Copenhagen they had one, and Aalborg, not far from where I live. They used to have a few big meetings, World Championship, but that was when the likes of Olsen and Ivan Major Egon Müller was riding as well, and them being big names, it was a little easier to promote at the time. But it's a bit different now. It's as I say, it's not really the big names in Speedway that's riding the long track. It's because they're in Poland and the Grand Prix at other places. So now they haven't got time for that. But it's still, I suppose, more a German sport and British sport with the grass track.
All right, I'll take a couple more questions from you guys, and then we'll let Hans go. It's been amazing. I've got Paul Broughton here. He's put, being my favourite rider of all time, but I'm actually a Kings Lynn supporter. Could you ask Hans, was Kings Lynn one of his favourite tracks to ride? He never dropped many points when he rode there.
It was okay, yeah. It was quite often quite grippy, and I liked some grip in the track. So and it was a reasonably big and wide track, so it was actually okay, yeah. Yeah, I had some pretty good results there, and so it was a pretty average track. I mean, it was okay, but not like Swindon, as I said, was one of my favorite, and but lots of different tracks in England, as I say. Some of them okay, some better, some bad, some really bad, but Kings Lynn was sort of in the middle, I would say. It's always been well prepared, but it was a bigger track for me in the first few years, so. In that respect, it was one of my favorites. But that's, so I learned to ride the bigger tracks later on, and so it became a better track for me. And I had some pretty good meetings there. Yeah, I won a few open meetings there in the old days as well. So that's good.
Paul Allen said this might be a good one to leave it on. There's put Hans, what would be your all-time favourite 1 to 7 of riders of your era? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, well, from my era, it's obviously leaves the. Well, I guess my era was also Olsen and Major, I suppose.
Yes.
So obviously they got to be in the team as well. From they were my favorites at the time. But then you got to look at my competitors like Eric, of course, and the likes of Gollop and Tony Rickardson. Some of the top guys. And if you look at, I guess Tommy he would do a good job there as well. Yeah, I know he hasn't been a world champion, but I said he probably should have been.
He's quality rider, class rider.
Yeah, and Jano on his heights. So there's certainly some Danish fellas in there, teammates. How many was that? Was that 6 or?
That was 7, wasn't it?
Was that 7? Yeah.
Was that Major?
Major, Olsen, Tony Rickardson, Gollop, Eric, Jano,
Tommy Knudsen, and Jano.
And Tommy Knudsen, so we got to be.
Not even in it. Not even in it.
No. Does it include myself as well? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
I was going to say.
Yeah, sorry, I'll have to let you go, Jano. Sorry.
That'd be some 1 to 7. That would.
Yeah, sure would. Love to ride in that. I would be the captain. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That was awesome, Hans. Wow, what a privilege and honor to speak to you. Amazing. I really appreciate your time, mate. Unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Been a pleasure. Thanks.
I really appreciate it, Hans. I will send you the link from this tomorrow for that and everything. You can share it on social media. That'd be great. I appreciate it.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Thanks ever so much, Hans. Thanks very much. Take it easy.
Yeah. All the best.
Thank you, Hans. Cheers, Hans. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, guys, how cool was that? Mr. Hans Nielsen for over 3 hours. Wow. Did I ever think in my lifetime I'd get to speak to Hans Nielsen, let alone speak to Hans Nielsen? What an absolute legend. I know in this era we do band around the legend thing quite a bit, but that is a legend. Mr. Hans Nielsen, the Main Dane, the Professor. Wow. Over 3 hours with Hans Nielsen. Like, pinching myself. What's going on? Oh, wow. What is going on? Even my mum's come on. Great interview. Thanks, mother. I hope I didn't say cool too many times, did I? I was trying not to. Simon Corbett, what a great bloke. Yeah, wow. Stephen Zetterwall. Whoa, yeah. 3 hours live with Hans Nielsen. I was going to say Hans Andersen. Hans Nielsen. Wow. I could die happy now, can't I? Wow, unbelievable. Thanks ever so much for everyone coming on. There's been like nearly 300 people online live at times. It's been amazing. Wow, unbelievable. Awesome questions, by the way, everyone. Hopefully I got a few of mine in and got some pictures on there, some amazing memories. Nice one, Lee. Duncan Pemberton. Thanks, mate. Very good. Now get Tom Owen on. From Bill, from a nice one. Peter Timney, thank you. Amazing. Special night, mate. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Was indeed. Amazing. Don't really know what to say. I'm actually stuck for words. Brilliantly, Ashby. You look so happy talking to your hero. Who wouldn't be? Wow. I'm even going to put my specs on after that. Just to make sure that was real. Andrew Pollard, brilliantly. Thank you very much. Looking forward to Lim back on Wednesday. I've actually got Max Anstey on Wednesday, but I've tried to contact Lim back actually, Stephen. So you never know. Marty Clyde, many thanks to Lee and Hans Nielsen, the greatest rider ever. Douglas Wire, how's it going, mate? Another great Speedway rider. Great show. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have to get you on here one of these days, Doug. That'd be cool. Sean Linsky, whoa, gutted I missed most of it. Don't worry, mate. Sean, it's all recorded. It'll be shared tomorrow, mate, so you can catch up with it. My brother's come on. Jamie Ashby, he is the man, the only Great Dane. Fact, wait till the morning. Baz will pick through your faults. Yes, I will be getting in the work van first thing in the morning. And our mate Bazo, who works with us, he'll be doing that. You said this, you repeated this word, you said this, he'll be picking it all out. Yeah, I've got some serious critics at work. Can't win. Apparently, one day I didn't say www for the website, so I called out a thing. You pick out anything, literally. Kill me. Rasmus Hansen, simply the best, better than all the rest. Yes, what an absolute 22 world titles to his name. It's just crazy, man. What a great interview. Well done, Lee. Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you, Lee. Awesome job with his interviews. Thank you very much. Pino, how's it going, Pino? In Holland? What an absolute privilege. Yes, unbelievable. That is literally, that's what I said to him. I always say exactly how it is, and what an absolute privilege and honour to speak to Hans Nielsen for 5 minutes. I would have killed a man for 5 minutes with Hans Nielsen. 3 hours. 3 hours live with Hans Nielsen. Don't know what's going on. My mum, I remember you pretending to be Hans Nielsen when you were wrecking our back garden. There we go, look. Probably putting the hose pipe on it first, were we, Mum? Greasing the back garden up a bit, playing Speedway. My dad would have put a silver disc in the back of my BMX bike. Brian Wilson, great stuff, Lee. Who's next? Speedway, no plans at the minute for Speedway. I've spoke to loads of guys, agreed loads. Can't wait to do all of them. There's not enough time around work to get everyone that I need to get, but I will get around to it. Don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Just on a crest of a wave talking to these legends of the sport, motocross and speedways. As you can probably see, never been so happy ever. It's like amazing. So yeah, Brian, there's loads to come. I've just to rail a few off that I've spoke to, but this is months ago, and I've got so many to sort out. Marvin Cox, Jeremy Doncaster, Chris Louis, Jimmy Nielsen, Peter Narleen. I'm going to speak to Egon Muller. That I've got. Thanks very much to Graham Hurry. He's been fantastic. He gives me a lot of contacts. Really appreciate that, Graham Hurry. Yeah, hopefully going to get Calvin Tatum on. I've got his number. I'm hopefully going to get older Peter Collins as well. That'd be really cool. What's everyone saying there? Living the dream, Lee. Cool interview. Yes, David Campbell. Definitely am, mate. But I'm living the dream, David, but I will still try and find them goggles for you at Fox Hill if we can find them. I'll do my best for you. Oh, Mr. Campbell, I know you. Are you actually living in Scotland? Because I don't know if you've seen about my, which I was going to get to in a minute, about my motocross meeting. But I'd love you to come down as well. It's not even a legends race. It's just going to be the legends group, and the guys are just going to go out, have some chilled out laps, just enjoy a little bit of riding. I'll have photographers there, obviously getting all that on track, and just have 10-15 minute sessions for each day, like there would be for a race. But the guys can just roll out, do a few demonstration laps, as it were. It'd be great if you could get involved. But if you are in Scotland, there's a long way to Somerset, so I'm not too sure about that. But it'd be awesome to get you down. Hopefully, you can get a few Scots down there. Sordy, Flockhart would be amazing, to name a couple. Pino, he was my idol, which puts me on the Speedway bike. I rode as well as always on a Godden. 22 times world champ and still so humble and down to earth. Yeah, amazing, Henrik. It was actually Eric Gunderson who got me in touch with Hans, which was really cool. And it was awesome to see Eric. Oh, there's another thing as well. Some of the riders coming online and speaking, and that's just like mind blowing. Eric Gunderson's been on tonight. Richard Knight, Barney Kennett. There's so many guys that come on. Don't want to miss anyone out. Who else came on? Amazing. They're all coming in as well and getting involved. Eric's going to be coming on for an interview. Hopefully I'll be able to catch him soon when he's not too busy. You're going to get told off anyway, Eric, because you didn't answer the phone to Hans today. Jeff Daniels, top job, Lee. Keep them coming. I will do my best, Jeff. Kevin Barnett, good one, bud. Get your missus on. Don't spend 3 hours talking to her. Great interview, great rider, top night. Thanks. Thank you very much, John Brown. Thanks for coming. Peter McCann, great interview. I did with the same with my mates. Only positive thing coming out of 2020 is these type of interviews. Any chance of David Jessup, please, Duncan? Yes, I would love to do that, mate. There's been loads I've been chasing. Trust me. That's another pastime of mine, is chasing people. Oh, so you don't even live in Scotland, David? I've lived in England 22 years. Whereabouts, David? What's a trip to Somerset like for you? You've made trips to Fox Hill, so any danger? Brandon the Mean. Calvin would need to push his book. He will come on. That's true. I've seen about his new book coming out. Is it tomorrow? Is it a new book come out tomorrow? Yeah, maybe that's a cool one. He could push his book if he wants and comes on. Look forward to next time. Good job. Thanks, Rasmus Hansen. Awesome to get on. Come on. Calvin's interview should be out of the top drawer. Boom, John. Like that. Out of the top drawer. Got me there. Steven Zetterwall's put Jimmy Nielsen and Per Jonsson. Another one, Per Jonsson. Did speak to him. I remember he got his son to sort out Skype for him and everything. This is when I was doing the Skype interviews for the live ones. Yeah, I'll get back hold of Per. I'm not too sure what happened, but I'll speak to Per and get that back going again, because Per was going to be coming on, and Jimmy Nielsen has agreed as well, Stephen. So hopefully I'll sort that out with him. Obviously, he lives in America now, so we've got to sort out the time difference. If he's not swanning around on a boat or anything. I've seen him he puts up his pictures at this time of year because he's got the good weather and that, so he likes to rub it in. Callum Marshall, what about Alan Graham Lee? Yeah, I did speak to Jill Graham, lovely partner of Andy Graham, and we was even talking about hopefully setting, because Alan's not too into his mod cons, that he would potentially even go over to Andy's and maybe get him that way on the live. Would be awesome if we could do that. David Campbell, Kettering, Northamptonshire, 3-hour drive. What are we saying, David? Is that possible? Love to get you down there, mate. I know it's a long way away yet, next September, but that's another one I've spoke to, Stephen Zetterwall. Another favour of mine at Swindon, Peter Narleen. He's also said he would do it. So, as you can see, loads to organise. Loads to organise. So, before I go, I'll just update you. I've got about 50 odd tickets left on the Rob Herring CR250 Silk Lean Honda. Also, I don't know if he's on. I'm on alive. Sorry, that was legend Stephen Holmes there. Mr. Stephen Holmes, I've got to get back to him so he thinks I'm ignoring his message. Yeah, so Rob Herring bike, still got about 50 tickets left, I believe. So if people want to get a ticket for that, and then as soon as I've sorted that out, I'll do a live draw on the Rob Herring 91 Silcoline Honda. So yeah, people can still message me as soon as possible for a ticket. That'd be cool. John Brown, always great to listen to. If you can get him, Ollie Olsen. Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be an amazing one, wouldn't it? No contact for Ollie. Suppose I could ask Hans. Tap me up, maybe, Hans. Never know. This is what happens is trying to get the contacts, and normally through an interview someone else puts me in contact with someone else. It's been really cool. So obviously you've all probably seen my post and announcements about our meeting, motocross meeting, 2-day meeting next September. We've just been talking about with my partner in crime, Mr. Kevin Wheeler, that we've been talking about. Obviously been trying to sort out groups and things like that. And so it's going to be next September 2021. The 4th and 5th of September. So obviously people will go down on the Friday night and ride Saturday and Sunday. The plan is for a practice day on the Saturday and racing on the Sunday. But with so many ex-BSMA riders, there'll be a lot of riders that have clearly shown massive interest already, which I really appreciate. It'd be really cool, and I will do my uttermost best to make it the best meeting possible for you guys and make it a really special event and try and get it done every year, me and Kevin. So that's the plan, 100%. And yeah, so the Saturday would probably be turned into maybe a practice the first session out, and then the second and third session out would be sort of probably, with obviously everyone does the transponders thing now, we're probably looking at timed qualifying, if you want to call it, and then we'll put people into groups from that. Would probably be a good idea. Yeah, take a year to get plenty of time. There you go, David. So it's not even a race, so you can just get out there, do a few laps, enjoy it, a few sessions. So you don't have to go OTT or anything, just show yourselves there. David would be awesome. Mix with the people. Autograph some pro grip goggles for me or something. Stephen Zetter, well, bedtime now in Sweden. Thanks a lot, Lee. Good luck with your next interview. See you all. Good night. Thank you very much, Stephen, for coming on. It's great to have people from all over the world. We've had people coming in from Oz tonight, Australia. People have been saying from all over the world, which has been amazing. We've had people coming up saying Panama, New Zealand, Scotland, David. Sorry, Northamptonshire. My mum, so proud of you. Love seeing you so happy doing what you enjoy. That's nice. Don't start me off. She knows I'm emotional. Can you get the sidecars to come on as well? I can't even cope with what I'm doing now, Callum. Imagine saying to the missus, I'm not only chasing Speedway and motocross riders now, Laney, I'm going to go for sidecar riders as well. Look, I'm going to be trying to go and ask her now for tea at 20 past 10 at night, Callum. What do you think? You're going to get me killed, man. So yeah, that meeting, really exciting. Went and seen the track yesterday in Somerset. Never seen it before. Yarley. Shout out to them guys. Meredith Motocross guys. Nigel Meredith, who half owns a track with Duncan. Hold on, I'll get the surname right as well. Got to get this right. Duncan Irons. So it's great to meet Duncan Irons and Nigel Meredith yesterday at the track. Really nice guys. Great to deal with. Like I said, I've tried to contact a couple of people on some tracks and had some very strange replies and yeah, not very helpful. So it was really nice to deal with them guys. Amazing. Clearly putting a lot of work into the track. They've been putting drainage in at the bottom of the track. It all comes off the side of the hill into the pits. They've been putting drainage in. They've got pipes out from the natural river at the bottom of the track, and that's going all over the top of the track for water in and everything. They've done obviously a lot of work, and they're going to help us get this really cool event on. We've been talking about as well trophies, we're going to do a few memorial things, and I've managed to speak to a couple of people, so I can probably sort of say about that now. There's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 ex-BSMA rider groups that will, like I said, on a Saturday, it'll probably be timed. The second and third session will be timed, so we can have sort of 3 or 4 different groups for the Sunday for racing. But I was going to go with names of nationals to call the groups, but now we thought about it. We were just going to be trophies in like a memorial thing with trophies, but now I think we'll make them groups after the names. So it'll be Kevin's dad that unfortunately passed away, and obviously my own dad will be like. So it would be like, say for instance, one of the groups of the BSMA would be like the BSMA David Ashby Memorial. And obviously Kevin's as well. And then another one we're going to do is for Mark Hucklebridge. I did speak to Emma tonight, and she said, yeah, that would be cool. She said, yeah, that would be amazing. She said he would definitely be wanting to help you right now. If he was with us, he'd be certainly would want to be helping you set up at the meeting. So that was really nice. Proud to say I raced with him, had some great races with him in the schoolboy and the BSMA and the hundreds and seniors. I've had some great battles. He come to Morden. I did a couple at Caution racing with him. What a great guy. Went on to have a great career. What a great father, great man. So definitely going to have his name on one of the groups for the BSMA, so it'd be really cool. Another one personal to me, Chris Tucker. Used to be chairman, used to run Morden Motocross Club that I raced most of my career at. What an amazing guy he was. Raced with his son Adam Tucker, another great lad. Definitely one of the groups will be after Chris Tucker's name as well. So hopefully that'll be a nice touch as well. So yeah, like me and Kevin's dad, Mark Hucklebridge and Chris Tucker are our ideas for that. So that'd be really special as well. Be really nice. To the heart. So yeah, I could drop names of some of the guys that are going to come in the Legends things, but I'll keep it on the lowdown for now. They'll be ousting me out. But I think a few of you have noticed that I've mentioned a few names, but obviously there's a lot of things to sort out and everything. But there's a couple of guys that have said they're definitely coming, so I don't mind saying them. Greg Hansen told me he was going to come on a 500 Kawasaki and roll out a 500 Kawasaki, so that'd be really cool to see people like him. Brian Jorgensen told me, the Danish former GP star, former British champion, told me he would definitely come. It'll obviously help with the Farley being the week later. A few of the guys can come and test a few things or come and have a ride if they're in the UK earlier before they go over to there. I'm really looking forward to Farley as well. I've not been to one yet. We're obviously doing all the football, so I'm really looking forward to Farley myself as well. Can't wait for that. But yeah, there's going to be loads of people coming out of retirement from 10, 15, 20 years from racing. They're all going to come back. David Campbell, what's the good lady got for your dinner tonight, Lee? Potentially, maybe getting towards the dog's bowl right now, probably, David. Let's hope not. Hopefully she's sorting me something. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I'll have a nice night with her tomorrow night, and then Wednesday I'll have Mr. Max Anstey at 7 p.m. UK time Wednesday. Really looking forward to that. He's a great guy, great character, great rider. He's had some, as we've all know, he's had some amazing GP wins, amazing Motocross Nations rides for Great Britain. It was really cool. He's rode in America before in the Supercross and all that, and then he come over to the GPs, and now he's gone back to America, which he's just finished the season there. So it'd be great to chat about all that. I'm sure you guys will come up with some good questions, and we'll get into that on Wednesday. So yeah, don't forget then, people, before I go, Rob Herring Bike, still got about 50 odd tickets, I think. So if people can message me as soon as possible on there, that would be really cool. That'll be some Christmas present for someone in that live raffle, to have that CR250 two-stroke Silk-Lean Honda 1991, done by Rob Herring himself. Did the whole bike himself. Even got his suspension done by the guy who used to do it for him before, to get it like how he used to have it. So that's really cool. He won the British Championship in 91 on that Silk-Lean Honda as well. Actually, I'm going to kill you lot now, if there's anyone left on here. There's a few. Oh yeah, I was supposed to show you these. So there's obviously the bike. Actually, we'll just get rid of that so you can completely see. There we go. Pretty cool, this StreamYard. There we go. The man himself, 11 times British champion. Like, who would have thought I got to meet Rob Herring, let alone be having a bike with his signature on the front. A bike he's done himself. There he is back in the day, letting 91 on the Silcoline Honda. There's him there racing it. Fox Hill tabletop, the first one in the valley on it. There he is, looking full flight on it. And then, boom. Oh, I'll leave you with that. Sorry. Oh, dear. Oh, it gets worse. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll take you out of, I'll take you. Yeah, I'll give you some sort of normality-ish. Oh, dear. What is wrong with me? Oh, the things you do, eh? One more? No? One more? No? Oh, killing me. Oh, here we go. We got a couple of pictures. I did put a couple of pictures up of the track on here. Here we go. It's very steep up here, and going down this hill here, you can't see it because obviously half the track's done. But the views, you can see literally the whole of Somerset. It's like right round ceramic, right down the panoramic. I can't even say it now. Panoramic view, right round. It's unbelievable. This hill here is as steep as one of the hills at Fox Hill, without a doubt, 100%. Bearing in mind my love for Fox Hill, couldn't believe it. Looking at the pictures I originally looked at, it didn't even look like it was on the side of an hill. So here's another picture. Look, so I'm talking like this at the top of this hill. You just cannot see how steep this is. Trust me. And that hill now is more sort of there. There's the start. Look, the start's down in here and it goes up around the big tree, first corner, and then this comes down here. That's not there. That sort of comes down into here, and then it goes all the way around up to the top of the track. And then it all comes back down, and then there's this big steep hill that comes right down the middle of there, and it is very steep. You couldn't walk up it very well, that's for sure. So there's a couple of little racing pictures there. Look, there's the guys, they've been doing all this drainage. That's the start straight. Look, there's the start. I'll be here up the hill. Nice starts, nice safe start. It was nice. This is all the drainage they've been putting down in the pits, because obviously all the water comes off the hill. So the guys grading the track. A couple of little pictures there of the track. Great condition. Yeah, there's all the facilities ready there, so everything's covered. The track rides really well, even in the wet. Brilliantly. We had loads of 2 or 3 weeks of rain before I went there yesterday. Perfect, tacky conditions, beautiful. Apparently it gets really hard and dry in the summer, but now they've got all the watering facilities and everything. We'll have that properly prepared no matter what happens, whether it's wet or it's going to be dry. It'll be watered pre-week or whatever it is compared to whatever we need to do, really. We'll make it right for that meeting without a doubt. Hi Uncle Lee, it's Lexi. Hello sweetheart, how are you? Take that down. How are you doing, Lexi Lee? Share, like, subscribe, share. All right. David Campbell's pissed on suicide. Get me in your dad's group then. Get me in your dad's group then. Bless her. They love it, don't they, kids? Right then, people. I bet I off ski for some tea. Before it gets too late. Well, it is too late, isn't it? But there we go. Comes with the territory. That alarm's going to be going off before I know it on the way there, and I'll be getting criticised all the way to work by the boys. You said this, you said that, you said this twice. You didn't say www. You said this. It'll all be going on in the van on the way. Yeah, so as I said, Rob Herring tickets. Get at me as soon as possible, people. About 50 odd left, I believe. And then hopefully I'll be able to, in the next week or two, I'll be able to do the live draw for that. And then there'll be an amazing prize for someone before Christmas. Yeah, and then obviously the track, the meeting and everything. It's going to be called Motocross Memories. Obviously, the whole thing I'm doing is Motocross and Speedway Memories, but obviously there's no Speedway involved. So it'll be Motocross Memories, BSMA Reunion, with myself, Lee Ashby, and obviously Kevin Wheeler, partner in crime, the organisation. And then, yeah, it's all systems go. Beautiful. Laney's come on now. Look, the missus has come on. There she goes. Dave Campbell, look. Dinner's nearly ready. This was brilliant again. Thanks, Lee. Thanks, mate. No problem. I'm on my way, Laney Lou. I'm going to just do my thank yous and goodbyes. Jamie's put I eat it, or Lexi's put I eat it, whoever's on Jamie's account right now. I definitely need to eat. I'm starving. But anyway, people, much appreciated everyone that come on tonight. Really appreciate it. Whether you watched the recording or you were on live tonight, really appreciate it. Hopefully, all you guys will be back Wednesday night, or if you like your motocross, or any motocross fans that have been on tonight, for the Speedway, for the Main Dane, Mr Hans Nielsen. Over 3 hours. Awesome. Buzzing. Yeah, hopefully I'll calm down to go to sleep. But yeah, there's lots to talk about with the meeting and everything. And like I said, I'm just working out the groups now. And then, like I said, we're some of the BSMA groups will be in memorial for a few guys. That'll be awesome. Sophie Fuming didn't say hello. Hello, Sophie. Hello, Jamie Lee. Hello, Lexi. Hello, Poppy. Hello, Michael. Hello, Ronan. There you go. Covered all you, right? All you little beauties. Yeah, about the meeting. So I'll be in the next week or two, sort of maybe getting to the point of being able to book people in, because loads of people have been throwing things at me saying they're booking and they're all going to come, which is amazing. Been absolutely buzzing. So thanks ever so much. Everyone's response to the meeting's amazing. Literally like thousands of post reaches and 200-300 plus likes and mental amount of comments. It's been amazing. Really appreciate it, everyone. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. It'll be a BSMA reunion of all reunions. It'll be amazing. Trust me. I will make it. Will, if it kills me, I'll make it the best meeting we can put on ever. Trust me. I will do my best. Me and Kev. And loads of people already offering to help and everything. It's been amazing, really unbelievable. I've already spoken to the man you all loved his interview, Mr. John Davis, does all the catering and things like that. He's done it for like the British Grand Prix, motocross. He's gone over to France and done the MX the Nations. He does Glastonbury. He's done Ascot. He does all these top events around the UK. I spoke to him about catering, saying about, you know, burger vans and ice cream vans and a marquee beer tent and bar and pancake flipping vans and everything. He said consider it done. So I should be sorting out with Mr. Davis himself. It's really cool. That'd be mint. But there'll be loads going on. We're looking to try and make it like the old days of the BSMA. We might even like look at, you know, other little mini motos going around the old, you know, with the balloon part, the bouncy castle part around the track where kids used to get involved with that. We'll try and get things like that and make it just like it was in the old days. Plenty of reminiscing, plenty of catching up. All the us guys from the BSMA will be. But we are keeping it open to people as well that weren't in the BSMA. So no, definitely not shutting it off to anyone. Quite a few have asked me that. So the answer is no, not shutting it off to just fuel my BSMA. But I'm sure that's going to be the main of it, which is what it was all about. But yeah, definitely going to be open to everyone else as well. So loads to get back to you guys with on that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But I'm sorting out exactly what groups we're going to have, because we've been talking about having some youth groups as well. My brother can't do it like the old days. I won't race. I'll be at John's Burger Van. My brother, he's even on about racing as well, I think. So there's going to be loads of comebacks on, but I'm really pleased now with the track. I'm pleased with the safety aspects of it. You could race around there any speed, be as safe as you can be. Arm pump or not, you could ride around there fine. There's no silly jumps, crazy jumps around there. Proper old school. Couple of little jumps, but nothing but like cambers and up and down hills. It's very good. I'm very pleased now. I've gone and seen it myself. Really pleased with it. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with all that. And hopefully we can start booking people in over the next couple of weeks. Get it going. Everyone seems really keen, which is amazing. And then we'll snowball from there. So thanks very much, people. Good night and God bless. I will leave you with my dad's quote, as I always do. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. I'm trying to keep like that as well. Aren't I, Lane? So hopefully she's been doing that when she's thinking about throwing my dinner in the dog's belly. So speak to you all soon, people. I'll have this recorded up post it out tomorrow to the guys who didn't see it, guys and girls who didn't see it live. But 3 hours with Hans Nielsen, I will die a happy man. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Wow. Buzzing. See you all soon, people. Thanks very much for coming out. Take it easy. Good night and God bless. Ciao, Bella.